Days and welcome to Wrestling Days Live. We are live for Smackdown and it looks like an alright show. It's not a show that I'm too crazy about, to be honest, but I hope that everyone is well and it should still be interesting. But yeah, on paper, it doesn't look like the most exciting show that we've ever had. We do have a tag team championship match though, so that might provide some interesting entertainment. We got the New Day taking on Nakamura and Cesaro. We've also got Bayley and Sasha taking on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. We've got Jeff Hardy on Miz TV. And they're also showing, apparently, Braun versus Bray from Money in the Bank. And I can't quite understand why. I do understand that next weekend we've got Extreme Rules, so that's probably why. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really too keen on this showing of pay-per-view matches because if you're fans like us that watch the pay-per-views, you just end up sitting through things you've already seen. So not the biggest fan of that. I mean, Bray versus Braun, it was all right. It was an all right match, so it's not the worst, but yeah, I kind of hope this doesn't become a habit, and this is something they're going to keep doing going forward, so we'll have to see. Hello to everyone that's in the chat. Hello to everyone that's joining us. I can see Monica King, Jerry Smith. John says Smackdown looks all right. Days, shout out LSW. Hello to you, my friend. I think I'm going to be watching 205, says Imtiaz. Days, what has happened to Otis? I was just reading a preview about that. I was just reading a SmackDown preview, and they were talking about where's Otis. So the answer is I don't know. I don't know that I don't know that anything bad has happened, but yeah, seemingly he's not around at the moment. I think as well, I still haven't plugged this computer in. Me and power just do not get on. Hang on. There, is that it? That's it. Yeah, so funny, I was just literally just reading about that. Hello to Chalmers, hope you are well. Shout out to Wrestling Figure Art 1. Before we get stuck into anything, I do just want to say to the community and people that watch us on a regular basis. Of course, we've got the Insiders, great podcast that cater to the community. And one of their members, one of our members, community members, Brandy, is not well at the moment. She's last I heard in hospital. So I think that she would really appreciate all your thoughts and best wishes. So yeah, as I said, I don't know how you can contact her or anything like that, but I'm sure you can send your thoughts to her through the Insiders if you wanted to do that. But yeah, certainly my thoughts are with her. So shout out to Brandy. I hope she makes a speedy recovery. And yeah, I think she's still in hospital right now. Days, how was your day off? Day off. There was no day off. It was probably more hectic than when I was streaming every day. I mean, we did a figure video, or I did a figure video, and in order to research it and edit it and everything, it took around about 6 hours. So if you think that we tend to stream for about 3, maybe it takes an hour to set a stream up. I think I did more work yesterday than if I was streaming, because we did that figure video, and then also there was some interesting news regarding the hacker, and there has been further developments on that. We might as well get stuck into that. I did a video because Ringside News had some exclusive information about the hacker, and this exclusive information was that Mustafa Ali was not happy. Mustafa Ali was not happy on SmackDown. He didn't enjoy working with Bruce Pritchard. He requested that he go to Raw so that he can work with Paul Heyman. And apparently they were working together for a week or two. And Paul Heyman was trying to find a way of getting the hacker story moving again. and he was presenting a lot of information, a lot of stories to Vince. Vince was shooting them all down. So apparently Vince just not on board with the suggestions, and it went nowhere. Fast forward a couple of weeks, Paul Heyman's gone, and now Bruce is running both shows, and it really doesn't look good for the Hacker storyline. So I thought that was really interesting because it shows how involved Mustafa Ali is in the Hacker storyline. There's still people out there saying that it's CM Punk or Ronda Rousey, and, you know, they could still be involved. But I think it's kind of obvious and clear at this point that Mustafa Ali is very much involved. And even these kind of exclusive rumors, backstage information kind of coming through, backing that up. But there's been another development. DJ just got in touch with me. The reason I was just a few moments late starting the stream was I was on Twitter sending out a tweet letting people know we were live. And DJ says, have you heard that Mustafa Ali has gone back to SmackDown? So I had to very quickly Google that because I hadn't heard. So I quickly Googled it. And there are reports that Mustafa Ali has now gone back to SmackDown. So I don't know where Mustafa Ali is now, right? Mustafa Ali is officially MIA. He's missing in action. I don't even know if WWE know where he is. Is he on Raw? Is he on SmackDown? Is he going to pop up in Total Divas? Who knows? So, yeah, I think he might have gone back to SmackDown. And that would be quite interesting if he had, because that would suggest that they're moving him for a reason. Although you could have said that last time and you would have been wrong. If you thought they were moving him from SmackDown to Raw for a reason, turns out there wasn't one. He could have gone back for no reason as well. So I think the one thing is very, very clear. And that is there isn't like a big thought out story at the moment for the Hacker. Or certainly that's what the rumors are saying. That's what the rumors are suggesting. There's no big reveal that's seemingly on the way. So very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Hello to Dice and Dishes. Shout out to you. William Hensey, I did see your very kind donation as well. I didn't miss it. I was sat here and the little prompt thing came up before we started. And I was like, what's this? And I saw that it was you shouting out the early squad, the early notification squad. So shout out to William Hensey. Thank you for the kind donation, and a special shout out to all of you that were hanging out in the chat before we got started. I do just want to take this opportunity as well whilst I'm thinking of these things. Not only did I do a figure video yesterday that took about 6 hours, not only did I do that Hacker video, which didn't take that long, but, you know, still took a little bit of time. And not only did I do tons of research for UFC, but I had to do lots of other little bits as well outside of YouTube. But it is tomorrow. I mean, this is it. One more sleep. We are a sleep away from Fight Island. UFC 251, the biggest I can actually say this, not like WWE that call a match the greatest match ever before it's even happened. I can officially say that tomorrow will be the biggest Wrestling Day stream ever, because it is going to be the longest. It's going to be the longest. We're going to start, I'm aiming to start at 4 Eastern, which is 9 o'clock UK time. That is 2 hours before UFC 251 begins. So we're going to be able to go through every fight, every prediction, every rumor, full preview, absolutely everything. People have been asking, am I going to do predictions for this? I've got tons of information. So we might as well, but we might as well just tag it onto the stream. So I think what we'll do is we'll start 2 hours before. Then we've got the early prelims. Then we've got the prelims. Then we've got the main card. So for those of you that don't know, 3 title fights tomorrow and a massive rematch between Andrade and Thug Rose. Hebus in action, taking on Paige Van Zandt as well. Just The card is stacked, and it's on an island. It's just stacked. So very, very, very excited for that. Very excited for that. So yeah, if you're around, if you've got a passing interest, join us. If you've got a bigger interest, join us. Tomorrow it's got all of my... I'm not going to lie. Tomorrow has got all of my focus. Like, tonight's show looks all right. It's all about tomorrow, baby. Monica King says, Super Chat Party. I'm so hyped for tomorrow. Shout out to you, Monica King. You might be quite busy tomorrow. You might be quite busy. What, we're shooting down all of those trolls and all that negativity. We tend to attract quite a bit during the UFC streams. So, yeah, shout out to you. Days, Vince thinks Matt Riddle is the next Shawn Michaels. Yeah, I saw that article. I saw it on Google News. Can't remember who it was through. I don't know that he's the next Shawn Michaels, to be honest. I don't know that he's got that level of storytelling in ring. He's very good. I would say he's different to Shawn, to be honest. I don't know that that's quite the same comparison, but or quite accurate. But yeah, I think that he has got the showmanship that Vince likes. He definitely is a sports entertainer. He's got a good mix because obviously he's legit in ring. Used to be in UFC. What's great about him as well is that he wasn't in UFC and then he just went straight to WWE. He went through the Indies and came through NXT, and he's kind of paid his dues, you know. So there won't be any wrestling fans that have got an issue with him. It's not like when Ronda came over and she was put right at the top, you know, which I didn't mind. I mean, talking about one of the baddest women in the world. So it wasn't a problem for me. But for people that don't watch UFC or don't care, I saw quite a bit of backlash with how she was being used. But not with Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle has earned his way in. So he's legit in ring. And he's just naturally got that bro, you know, kind of laid back, chilled, bubbly personality. So he's got the sports, he's got the entertainment. He looks all right. He looks all right, you know. He's got a good body on him, you know. He's toned. Maybe he doesn't quite have the size of like a Hogan or something like that Vince might, you know, just for the cherry on top kind of a thing. But yeah, he is a big prospect. I've said for a while he'll do better on Raw and SmackDown than he did in NXT, because I think in NXT they don't do a great job of letting the personality come through. There's not like, they did a couple of vignettes with the Broserweights when it was Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle. They did a couple of vignettes. They weren't very funny. But yeah, they tend to focus more on in-ring. Whereas, you know, you tend to get a lot more backstage interviews and a lot more storyline, more of the sports entertainment on Raw and SmackDown. And I think Riddle's going to lap that up, to be honest. So, yeah, he's a big addition. I can totally see why they called him up. Jason Peace, shout out to you, Jason, as well. That's what I'm saying, guys. It's the talk of the town. Jason says, shout out, please. Done. Plus, I'm excited for UFC. Q Stepsy XBL says, Days the hacker has now unfollowed. This is the latest. Oh, thank you for that. I didn't see that, so that's very interesting. So a couple of developments there then. So Mustafa Ali apparently gone back to SmackDown, and now the hacker has unfollowed. This is the latest. Very strange. Very strange. Days, I totally nailed that bro earlier. It's a good feeling when you do. Days, could we see Adam Cole tonight? I don't think so. To be honest, I'm going to lean towards no, and let me tell you why. Because I think that tonight and next week is all about Extreme Rules. They don't want you talking about Adam Cole. They'll want you talking about Extreme Rules. They want to build Extreme Rules. So I wouldn't expect to see Adam Cole tonight. I think that they're going to want to keep pushing Extreme Rules, making those final matches and doing that. I suppose they could bring him up and give him an Extreme Rules match. It would be a bit quick. I think that the whole focus of the show is going to be on Extreme Rules. So I'm going to say no. Days Otis could possibly cash in at the Swamp. He could. Yes, he could. He could cash in at the Swamp. I don't know that I would want that, to be honest. Like, I'd have a few questions, like, how did he know where the Swamp was? And, yeah, I don't know. It might be all right, but I think I'd rather it just... Oh, there was something I read, actually. I'm glad you reminded me, because I didn't have this written down. I've got quite a few things to go through. We've even got the Bumpy Awards to talk about, right? So we're not stuck for things to talk about. But I did forget about this. I read, again, I wish I could sit here giving credit to all these different sites, but I just read so much that I can't remember where I read it. But one of the news outlets, Ringside News, one of those, said that apparently Seth versus Ray is going to have CGI elements, right? That's going to make it look like an eye is being removed. That sounds horrific. That sounds not like... I'm not sat here saying that's going to be scary or I'm going to be scared or anything. I just mean it sounds cheesy and trash. I've got no belief that WWE are going to make that look good or believable or anything other than cringe. I can't imagine they're going to be able to do that without us looking back at it in like a year's time going, what was that about? So yeah, apparently I can only tell you what I read. Obviously the Swamp match is going to be cinematic. And when it comes to Seth versus Ray, eye for an eye match, there's going to be a pre-recorded bit that's going to have CGI that's going to have someone's eye getting removed. That's the latest that I've read. So make of that what you will. It sounds awful. Anfield Road. Shout out to you, my friend. What is your profile picture, Anfield Road? It's like some kind of anime? I don't know what that is. It looks really cool. I like it. It looks really smart. It's a very unique profile picture. It's not often that you see like an anime or some kind of a cartoon. Well, I say cartoon, animation. It doesn't look like it's, do you know what I mean? The Powerpuff Girls. Shout out to you anyway, Anfield Road says, what's your favourite Shield match? That's a good question. There's a couple that come to mind. They had a great match. I can't remember the show. I think it was on a pay-per-view against the Wyatt family, which was really good. It was very, very well done. It was very competitive. Wyatt family looked great in it. The build had been really good. That was like two big factions going at each other on a collision course. And the match turned out to be really good. I wish I could tell you the show, but I can't remember. I can tell you another one, though. And that's obviously the night before they split at Payback 2014. And it was Evolution taking on with, I think, was that the one that had Blue Teaster? Was Blue Teaster on that show? It's Evolution Shield. That was a very good match as well. So a couple that come to mind there. I mean, there was quite a few, actually. The Shield were only around for about a year and a half. It feels like it was so much longer. Obviously, they would reunite, but they actually arrived at Survivor Series 2012, which is like right at the end of 2012. And I think they'd split by mid-2014. So it's pretty much a year and a half. And it kind of blew my mind. I honestly, I think we looked into that, or I looked into that for a Wrestling Escape Pod episode. And I could have swore that it would have been 2 years plus that they were around. They, did quite a bit. They faced a lot of different people. They won championships, and they were one of my favorite factions. I really think they're right up there with being one of, I don't know if I can say the best faction in the history of WWE. Obviously, Four Horsemen and NWO come to mind outside of WWE. DX come to mind inside WWE. Maybe they weren't quite DX level, but I don't know. I loved them. I thought that their presentation, the coming through the crowd, the music, the matches. Look at what all three have gone on to achieve. It shows how special that group was. There was no filler in that group. There was three guys. All three guys have been world champion. And still continue to be so. I mean, Moxley's gone to AEW. He's their world champion right now. When Roman comes back, he's going to be right up there. So, yeah, love the Shield, man. Couldn't believe it was just a year and a half. James M., what happens there? Happens here forever. Chalmers says it felt like 4 years. I agree. Yeah, well, maybe I don't know. I thought it was that long, but I definitely thought it was longer than a year and a half. Daze, do you think Adam Cole will be on the main roster? If so, Raw or SmackDown? I think Raw is better, easier to take a title off Drew, and profits for them to take over other than Braun, Fiend, and New Day. Well, to be honest, yes. I think they would go to Raw. The only reason I say that is I don't know, I've got it in my head that SmackDown's athletic. I don't know why, because there's not really much to back that up. I suppose they've just got Matt Riddle, but they didn't get Ronda. They didn't get Brock. So I don't know why I've got it in my head that SmackDown is like the sports show and Raw is the sports entertainment show, because that's just not true. The Hacker storyline was on SmackDown. The Jeff Hardy storyline is on SmackDown, so I'm kind of, I'm not really thinking about how things really are. So Adam Cole could go to SmackDown, but I agree. I don't know why there's something about Raw that I think just fits a bit natural. I'd love to see him feuding with like Seth. I know they're both heels, but I don't know. I don't know what Adam Cole will get called up as. They might get called up like the Shield. Where they're heels, but they're so cool that they get cheered and they're basically baby faces. I should imagine that will happen. I mean, as soon as Undisputed Era arrive on either Raw or SmackDown, if there was a crowd, they would go crazy. They would absolutely lap it up. We've been waiting for Undisputed Era for a while to go to one of those shows. So I agree. I think Raw is more likely, but it wouldn't bother me if they went to SmackDown. I think Adam Cole would struggle to get the title off Braun, but I don't see him going for a big title straight away. Tag titles more realistic, but honestly, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish should be beating a team like the New Day. That shouldn't be a problem. I mean, New Day are 8-9-time champions. That means that they've lost it 8 times, so they're beatable. If you want to make a statement, if you want to build them up, then giving them a win over the New Day is a real good way to go about it. So, but I do agree with Adam Cole and Braun. I think Drew might be a touch easier to beat, but I don't think he'd be in that situation for a little while anyway, Dave's Shield versus Orton, Big Show, Sheamus from WrestleMania 29 was good, says Swamp Manor. Yeah. Dave's NXT main event got 900,000 viewers. Wow. I did not see that breakdown. Dave's, what do you think of Dave Meltzer's start rating? Oh, what do you mean for Wednesday or just in general? Because in general, I like it. I think that what I like about Dave's star ratings is that it's not perfect. It's his opinion, and I agree with quite a bit of what I see. But I mean, naturally, I'd be scared if I agreed with everything he said. Because just naturally you're gonna see things that you enjoy that maybe he didn't. But by and large, I tend to agree with him. But I saw his ratings from Wednesday, And actually, I think we did say on Wednesday, do you remember we were talking about that main event? And I was like, there's something about Keith Lee, Adam Cole that's not 5 stars for me. I said, and someone asked what do you think Dave will give it? And I said 4 stars, maybe 4.25. And he gave it 4.25. So I do agree with that. For me, it didn't quite get to 5 stars. I don't know what it was. I can't quite put my finger on it. And I thought a lot of his NXT ratings were all right. Little harsh, maybe. I definitely thought his AEW ratings were inflated. I'm not saying his bias. I'm not getting into all of that. I'm just saying that for me, he scored AEW as, far and away the better show overall. And I watched both shows and I didn't feel that way, and I didn't see. He gave one match. I can't remember what it was. It was the 8-man tag match. Revival and Young Bucks and SC. He gave it like 4.75 or something like this. Like nearly 5 stars. Almost 5 stars. Now, I watched that match and it was nowhere near 5 stars. It was a good match, a really good match. But I'd be about 4. Whereas he gave it like 4.75. So, yeah, I like Dave's. I like Dave. I think I like anyone really that's knowledgeable about wrestling, because I like to learn about wrestling. So I appreciate that he knows a lot and he's been watching for a long time. So I got a lot of time for Dave, and he's very knowledgeable, certainly when it comes to Japanese wrestling. He's been watching his whole life. He's been doing The Observer since the mid-'80s. It's great that this one guy that's been doing it since the mid-'80s, you can go back and you can really compare everything side by side, because it's his opinion all throughout, and I think it's a real positive that we've got that. So I do like it, but yeah, I don't agree with everything. But by and large, Daze, can you explain a little bit about the eye for an eye match between Seth and Ray? Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a match. The only thing I've read is that there's going to be a CGI element whereby I don't know who wins or loses, but whoever loses seemingly is going to have their eye ripped out, right? I don't know that that's the actual stipulation. I think it's more just a case that at the moment they're saying that they're going to do it. I just don't believe that WWE are going to be like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll sanction that. I mean, do you know what I mean? There's unsanctioned matches. There's matches that are unsanctioned. Wasn't it Edge and Orton that was unsanctioned or something? I can't remember. There was a match that was unsanctioned. No, Randy Orton was unsanctioned. WWE refused to sanction that match because of Christian's health. So they still presented it. It still main evented the show, but it was unsanctioned. WWE didn't want anything to do with it. But apparently I'm meant to believe that there's a stipulation whereby the loser gets their eye ripped out. And WWE are like, yep, yeah, I think that's fine. We've checked with the authorities. They're fine with it. Yeah, all seems above board. So, I don't know, man. It's really stupid.
Ghost TP
the whole
is a
thing's
legend.
really stupid.
They donated £10 via Super Chat. Hi Days, do you watch MLW? I think it's one of the best promotions right now and just wanted your take on it. Would also be good for a watch along maybe. Keep up the good work, mate. Love.
I thought, you know what? Ghost EP, then I was listening to what was being said. And I thought, wow, it's going to read your whole message out here. I was quite impressed. I was like, yeah, go on, Ghost EP. You're going to have that. And then it cut it off right in the final few words. And I was like, gutted for you. Gutted. Do I watch MLW? I've seen a couple of episodes. I watched it because I'd heard a lot of praise about Hammerstone. Is it Jacob Fatu? I know that British Bulldog Jr. Is there as well. Is it the Von Erichs? Are the Von Erichs in MLW? I think they are. The Von Erich kids. So, yes, I am aware. I have seen some episodes. from what I saw, was very impressed. And if you're telling me you think it's one of the best promotions right now, I could vibe with that. Actually, yes, I could vibe with that, because from what I saw, I was very impressed. The only downside is I never went far enough with it to like look into when it airs. Could I fit it into a watch along schedule? To be honest, no one ever talks about it. It's got very, very, very little spotlight on it at the moment, MLW. But a watch along could be fun. I don't disagree with that. And it's something that's definitely on my radar. It's kind of very similar to like Ring of Honor. Similar in the sense of, I don't get anyone really talking about Ring of Honor, but it's obviously a decent sized promotion that you can watch, Fight TV or some way I can get it. So it's not small enough like bar wrestling where I just can't watch it. It's a decent size where I could be watching. I think, don't they put their episodes on YouTube? I've got a feeling they put their episodes on YouTube. So look, cut a long story short, don't rule it out. It's not been on my agenda, but I have watched a couple, and I do agree. From what I've seen, it did look very, very good. And that Hammerstone will go to AEW or WWE. A lot of hype around that guy. But I think he has just re-signed, actually. Someone's just re-signed with MLW because they said, and it might have been Hammerstone, he says that they're building Summit, So, interesting. Right, Daze, do you think Kenny and the Bucks will ever step into a WWE ring? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. I think that I don't see AEW going anywhere, to be honest. I think AEW are a big success, and I think it shows. Even though NXT has had more viewers than them for 3 weeks in a row, it's been so close. And I saw a lot of arguments on Twitter with people saying, yes, they got more viewers, but the demographic, the key demographic belonged to AEW. And other people saying NXT have just given away the biggest match they can. Where are they meant to go from here? And the truth of the matter is, everyone's correct. NXT fans are correct. They did get more total viewers. That does look good. I don't care what anyone says. I know that the TV stations like the 18 to 49 demographic and care about that the most. But total viewers definitely matters as well. So total viewers is brilliant for NXT. The 18 to 49 demographic for AEW is brilliant as well. Kind of equally, if not a touch more. NXT did give away their biggest match, but then on the flip side, they've got so much resource that it's just not a problem. Do you know what I mean? Announce The Undertaker's going to be on NXT next week. You watch what the views do. Like, they could... honestly, they've got so many superstars that they can just pull from Raw, SmackDown, Legends. Do you know what I mean? There's so much they can do that it's just not a problem. So I can see it this way, that way. It's close, it's competitive, it's interesting to watch it unfold. So I think that the positive is that both shows are pretty strong, pretty solid. So really the winners are us. I just wish that one would move to a Thursday. I would enjoy it so much more if I could just sit and watch one show. So much more. My least favourite stream is the Wednesday stream. And I've said that so many times. I hate having to try and watch two shows because I fully appreciate that I can't see everything because you just can't watch both at the same time and see everything. I dare say that I do miss a few things as a result. And then, of course, you've got NXT fans that want you to talk about NXT. You've got AEW fans that want you to talk about AEW. You just can't please everyone. And it's so much more difficult than like what tonight's going to be. Tonight, we're going to sit down. We're going to watch SmackDown and hopefully have a nice, good time with it. And just Wednesday, I do struggle. But watching both shows and what they put out is very enjoyable. So no complaints there. But no, I don't think they'll come over because I don't expect AEW to fold. I think AEW are going to be around for many, many years to come. And if that fails, I think they'd probably go back to New Japan rather than work for Vince. I just don't think that they would. I just don't think they would do it. I don't think they would do it. I think they've really built up the fact that they don't need to do it, and that you can survive outside of WWE. So for them to go to WWE would undermine all of that. So yeah, I think that's done. Brooke Knoll says, who is your favourite diva? Well, if it's going to be woman, a female, then it would be Asuka. But if you're saying diva as in from that era, then I would probably say Beth Phoenix or Natalia. Both of them were awesome. Or AJ Lee. Some really good divas. But yeah, I mean, if you're still calling them divas, which they're not now, obviously, it's the women's division now, then I would say Asuka right now. But yeah, during the diva phase era, there was some great female wrestlers. Anfield Road says, do you think Ambrose will ever return? Yes. I think Ambrose will return. I think he will do a Kurt Angle. I think that he will... Mansoor is on 205 Live, says Jim. There we go. Big match Mansoor. Big match Mansoor is going to be on 205. That's unmissable, isn't it now? 205 Live with Big match Mansoor. Yeah, what was we talking about? Ambrose. Ambrose will do what Kurt Angle did. He has to go back to WWE. I don't even think he's got much of a choice because The Shield are going in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about that. The Shield are going in the Hall of Fame. So, I don't know when. I would be amazed if they're going to wait for them all to pass away and do it in like 50 years' time. I think they'll do it whilst they're all alive. And so, yeah, I think Ambrose is going to have to go to the Hall of Fame. Unless he just says, no, I'm not doing it, and then doesn't go. I'd be very surprised at that. Very, very surprised if he didn't. Honestly, I think he's going to be with AEW for 8 years, something like this. I can see AEW doing 5 years. Easy. I mean, their ratings would have to start to drastically decline. And they've been very steady with their ratings. They seem to have got... We know they've got a very strong fan base. A fan base that was very disillusioned with WWE, that still love wrestling, that were into New Japan. You know, I mean, that's a sizable audience, and it seems to be around 600,000. Seems to be the number. So I think that fan base is going to see them all right, to be honest, because I don't think TNT had much higher expectations than that. I don't think TNT are putting a great deal of pressure on them. I think, if anything, they're over the moon. So I think they're in a decent place. I think as long as they keep bringing in numbers like that and they can show growth, they can sell merch, they can sell tickets, and Tony Khan's happy, I just don't see any reason why this stops anytime soon. And whilst it's going, I think Moxley will be there. So I think, and don't forget, they could strike a deal with New Japan, and that changes the game. If they get a deal with New Japan, I don't know what happens then, because you start bringing over Okada and Takahashi and Roppongi 3K and the Gorillas of Destiny and Bullet Club and Naito. And obviously, New Japan own Stardom now. So that means they could bring over the women of Stardom, which is, I think, regarded as the best all-female promotion in the world. So, you know, if AEW could tap into that talent, just think of the dream matches. I understand you'd have to educate the casual fans about some of those names, but, man, whew, there's tons they can do. There's tons they can do. So I think he comes back for Hall of Fame, maybe for one last run, but it won't be for a while. Do you think Sabu will beat Adam Lee at ECW TakeOver? I no idea what that is. What's ECW Takeover? Is that something to do with Impact? I haven't heard about an ECW show. How can they do ECW Takeover? Wait, don't WWE own that name? Loving the stream, says Cheetah. Shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well. I doubt that New Japan will work with AEW. Yeah, well, I've heard a few mixed rumors on that, to be honest. New Japan, obviously, very upset with AEW because all of their stars, the Bucks and Kenny Omega, leaving and forming that company, and Cody and Hangman. So they lost a good chunk of people to AEW, but it is mutually beneficial because bringing over New Japan stars is going to help AEW. They could do an invasion angle. They could do loads of different things. New Japan invaded. Be crazy, like AEW unite. I mean, what a storyline that would be. That would set fire to their ratings. But it would also really help New Japan because now they're getting their stars onto American TV and they've got hopes of breaking into America. Like New Japan have got an American promotion starting up. And so this would be massive for them. So from a business point of view, it's absolutely win-win for both promotions. And I think there's high hopes that they will both, come to see that. So it's very interesting. Of course, New Japan have had Moxley on Wrestle Kingdom. So there's, the superstars that are working both brands. So there is a degree of crossover. So we'll have to see. But I can't remember. It's been a long time since I read the rumors, but apparently there is an outside chance that they could work together one day. Days, please tell me that you're pulling for Game Bread tomorrow. I met him in Miami last summer. Easily my favourite UFC guy. I got to tell you, I really like both fighters. I really like Usman and I really like Masvidal. I like them both. I don't know that I'm actually pulling for anyone, if I'm being honest, when it comes to the main event. I think I'm leaning to Usman for winning, but I'm only leaning to Usman for winning because I do think that he's technically the better fighter. There's so many variables, though, because for me, Masvidal coming in last minute really helps Masvidal. Masvidal will have, been preparing for Usman, will be fully aware of Usman, whereas Usman will have been preparing for Gilbert Burns, who is a very different fighter to Masvidal. So Usman will have gone through a training camp preparing for that in the final week to the fight has now changed over to Z, and he's got a completely different person. So this is so intriguing. Usman's, for me, the slightly better fighter, more technical. If it was a level playing field, if they'd had proper camps and proper builds and all this, I would be leaning to Usman to get the win. The fact that it changed in the week of the build means that I can't call it. It's so hard to call. There's so many variables. I probably, by the time I get tomorrow, I need to do a touch more research, but by the time I get tomorrow, I think my prediction will be Usman. Still, I think I've got a gut feeling, but that's not me pulling for Usman. I'm not pulling for him. I really like both fighters. I like both fighters. I really like Masvidal. He's got a showmanship, man, and I really appreciate that, what with being a WWE fan. So anyway, look, we're chatting away so much, and I know that's not a bad thing, but I have got a couple of other things to talk about. We spoke about Brandy. Our thoughts go out to her. PW Unlimited are saying that there's a chance that Evolution 2 or a second night for SummerSlam could be taking place. So apparently they are looking and talking about what they can do next month to, make the pay-per-view time bigger. So they're either going to do Evolution like the day before SummerSlam or something like this. So you still get two events, or they're going to do a 2-night SummerSlam, because of course SummerSlam has now moved to the Performance Center. So that's moved. Fans, they're looking at bringing fans back at the end of September. That's the date that they've got penciled in. And now, before we get to the actual action tonight, we can now finally jump over to the Bump Awards. So I wanted to do this because I wanted to get your thoughts on it. So the Bump, you know the show The Bump. I'm personally not a fan of the show, right? But whatever. But I did see that they have got a mid-year awards called the Bumpy Awards, which just makes me hate them even more, in all fairness. So the Bumpy Awards, they are for tag team, rivalry, in-ring match, cinematic, and superstar of the year. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them out, and then feel free to tell me who you would go for, right? So, tag team of the year. The nominations are Street Profits, Sasha Banks and Bayley, The New Day, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, or Imperium. That's it. Those 5 are in the running for tag team of the year. I think I'd be going with Sasha and Bayley. When I think of Street Profits, I always think of that, what you can do, I can do better. And that didn't land for me. When I think of New Day, I think about Xavier being out injured and them not having as much of a spotlight on them. Like, New Day haven't really been in any big killer feuds. Certainly not that I can remember. So, I don't know. New Day not really standing out for me. Imperium, I think they won the tag titles. That's a pretty big deal down in NXT. But again, I don't feel like they're really carrying a show. It's not as if I'm seeing them every week. So for me, it comes down to Bayley and Sasha, who we see on all the shows, or Alexa and Nikki. I think both teams have been excellent. I think I'd be leaning to Sasha and Bayley on that one. Jason says, it's good that fans will be back because on the 9th of October, Smackdown live in London. I don't know. I know they were meant to come over at that time, but I don't know if it's been cancelled. I don't think it has. So, a lot of Sasha and Bayley's. A few people saying the Iconics. Nikki and Alexa. New Day. New Day will lose the titles tonight, says My Name is Michael. Sasha and Bayley, but it should be Imperium if it wasn't for COVID-19. Sasha and Bayley. Do you think Tony Khan is the modern day Ted Turner? I think he's got his head screwed on a little more than Ted Turner. Ted Turner just was throwing money around, giving Eric Bischoff whatever he wanted. Whereas I think Tony Khan's a little more savvy to the wrestling business, a little more involved. Not just going to throw money about, so yes and no. Okay, so I would say that most people have gone with Sasha and Bayley on that, and I would agree. Next, we've got Rivalry of the Year. Okay, Rivalry of the Year. So, Mandy and Sonya, Drew and Brock, Becky and Shayna, Undertaker and AJ, Tommaso and Johnny. Okay? So, Mandy, Sonya, Drew, Brock, Becky, Shayna, Undertaker, AJ, Ciampa, or Gargano. So, 5 there. For me, I would say Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. I think that the hacker storyline plays into that. You know, that was a big part of it. I think Otis and Otis's success plays into that. I think it's run for quite a while and it's still running. You know, we saw him just a couple of weeks ago where Sonya was like saying she was going to rip Mandy apart. If you think Drew and Brock had a bit of a build towards WrestleMania, but that was long finished. I mean, a couple of months ago, that's been finished now. Becky and Shayna wasn't really around that long. It was just a little build towards Mania. Undertaker AJ was excellent. I could see if people choose that. I thought the build for that was great. Tommaso Johnny, I think, has been all right, but this hasn't been like a key year for that rivalry. Do you know what I mean? It's a great rivalry, but that shouldn't really win for this year. I didn't even think their final match was all that, to be honest. The blow-off match, where there was no commentary and it was cinematic, I wasn't too keen. So I think for me, because of Otis, because of the hacker, I'd say Mandy and Sonya. So that would be, I'd go with that. Where's Edge Orton? Where is Edge Orton, Shay? You're absolutely right. Where is Edge Orton? Wow, you are right. Do you know, that didn't even cross my mind. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Where is Edge Orton? Wow. Jeff is being buried in this storyline due to not signing a new contract, says Killer Sasuke. Where's Edge Orton, says Shay. Yeah, completely agree. LSW saying, where's Edge Orton? Completely agree. I mean, it should be Edge Orton, but failing. They're not nominated. This isn't me. This is the Bumpy Awards, right? So, they're not there, is the answer. So, I would say Mandy and Sonya out of what I've been presented. But, yeah, where is Edge Orton? You're absolutely right. What about AJ versus Otis? That would be an awesome match. Days, did you see the thing that Jeff Hardy might not sign his contract? I didn't know. Someone just mentioned it. Shout out to Wrestling Days fam. Bray and Seth. Bray and Seth. That was last year. Maybe Seth and Ray. Full Nelson and Bobby Lashley. I don't think people are feeling the rivalry one. Let's move on, shall we? Here we go. In-ring match of the year. Now, I've got a problem with this, and it's going to stand out in a second, okay? In-ring match of the year, right? I've got a problem. See if you can spot my problem. In-ring match of the year. So, is it Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania? Is it Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania? Is it Daniel Bryan against AJ Styles from SmackDown the other week, the championship final? Is it Edge versus Orton, the greatest wrestling match ever? Or is it the men's Royal Rumble? Now, my problem, for those of you that didn't spot, is that Edge versus Orton was tinkered with. It had a few moments, not loads, I will admit not loads, but they went back and they filmed a few things. I think it was 4 things they refilmed. We know that they enhanced the crowd. We know that they changed the commentary. There's a moment where Samoa Joe is sat watching, mouth closed, but you can hear him talking. So we know that they tweaked a load of stuff. So my problem is I don't think Edge Orton belongs in this list. For me, it's a cinematic match. If you tweak something, if you change something, if you go out there and wrestle non-stop, right, then that's a match. That is not what they did with Edge and Orton. They went back and they rejigged a few things, so... And cinematic match is coming up in a second, so... Out of all of these, I'm torn between Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley. I thought it was excellent. For me, the best match at WrestleMania. Or Daniel Bryan, AJ. And I might be leaning to Bryan and AJ. Might be leaning that way. The Rumble was great. Owens Rollins, AJ Daniel, Edge Randy. Fiend Goldberg, says Swamp Manor. Yeah, you're right. How could I forget about that? Bryan AJ, Royal Rumble. Seems like most people are saying either Bryan AJ or the Rumble match. I agree with Bryan AJ. Bryan versus AJ. Rumble was good. I wasn't keen on Drew winning. is the truth. But Brian AJ I thought was excellent. Excellent. Right, let's do cinematic match now. So, what was the best cinematic match? I just can't believe it. I just can't believe this. Let me read them. Boneyard match. Firefly Funhouse match. The Money in the Bank match. Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. This is the one I can't believe. Viking Profits versus Ninjas. I mean, that thing was so bad. I can't even believe they've nominated it. I can't even believe they've mentioned it. I can't believe they haven't just erased it from Backlash. Plus, also, it wasn't Viking Profits versus Ninjas. Like, they were fighting each other for longer than they joined forces to fight the Ninjas. So, I don't know. Viking Profits, Ninjas. Awful. Awful. In my opinion. If you liked it, fair play. That, for me, is a no-brainer. I mean, for me, that's Boneyard match. Wow. I did enjoy Money in the Bank. The Fiend's favourite friend says Funhouse. Boneyard says Dave. Jerry says Boneyard. Swamp Manor says Boneyard. Money in the Bank says Zycami. It was good. Best cinematic match will be Swamp Match, says Mustafa. Boneyard says Kyle. Boneyard. Big Guy says Boneyard. End of. Money in the Bank. Boneyard. Brandon says Vikings versus Ninjas. Boneyard. Braun and Bray. That hasn't happened yet. Cinematic wise. Money in the Bank was the best, says Shay. I really enjoyed Money in the Bank. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Chalmers says Boneyard followed by Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank. It's kind of close, actually. I'd say Money in the Bank and Boneyard are the top two, with Firefly Funhouse just underneath. No one said Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. And one person said Viking Profits and Ninjas. So I would say Boneyard gets that. And this is our final one. Here we go. Final one. Superstar of the year. Who is your superstar of the year? Okay. So they have got, I think it's about 10 for this. So Adam Cole, Keith Lee, Charlotte Flair, Drew McIntyre, Otis, Bayley, Asuka, Io Shirai, Braun Strowman, Becky Lynch. Who is it? For me, it is Asuka. Who is it for you? As SmackDown is about to begin. So I'll read them out again. SmackDown has begun. We are starting with Miz TV. So I'll read them again. Adam Cole, Keith Lee, Charlotte Flair, Drew McIntyre, Otis, Bayley, Asuka, Io Shirai, Braun Strowman, Becky Lynch. Who is your superstar of the year? Nia Jax, says Texas Ranger fan. Yes! Nia Jax. How did they not include Botchasaurus? Drew, Bayley, Asuka. How is Orton not on the list? Says LS. That they've really got it in for Orton, haven't they? They've really got it in for Orton. Fandango. Yes. Fandango. Brock. Becky Lynch and Adam Cole. A tie between Drew and Asuka. Asuka all day. Giant Ninja, says Waleed. Otis. Quite split on R-Truth. Nia for sure. Kind of split on this one. Randy, Bray. Did Bray get a mention? No Bray? No Bray? Didn't even notice. Bray didn't make the list. No Fiend on that list. No Bray. Wow. Keith Lee. Baron Corbin. Big Show. The Fiend. Yeah, no Fiend. Well, no, split on that one. I don't think there was a clear winner. Well, I say that. There was. It was Asuka. Well done, Asuka. Well done, Asuka. Asuka wins. Well done, Asuka. Right, we're on Miz TV right now. Jeff Hardy making his way down. Miz and Morrison already in the ring. Adam Cole, baby! Io Shirai. I think that Sasha's going to beat Asuka for the Raw title, then have a match with Bayley. Linda wins because she is queen. Correct answer. Well, there we go. I mean, wow. We covered a lot. We spoke about a lot there. We did a preview. We spoke about loads of rumors. We spoke a little bit about UFC. We went through the Bumpy Awards. And here we are now with SmackDown, as we said. Should be all right. Should be all right. Right. Miz says, we hear that you've got a big clip to show us, but Jeff says we haven't got a clip. Yeah. Hey, I just don't like Miz TV. That's the conclusion I've come to. Right, they're still going on with this addiction thing, this rivalry with Sheamus. Carol Baskin is best of the year, says Jerry. Yes, you're absolutely right. Joe Exotic wins. Days, did you hear CM Punk wants to return to WWE? I didn't hear that, no. Days, did you hear? I didn't hear that, no. Hello, Joseph. Hope you are well. End this story, says Sean. Yeah, it's a way of just starting with a video package, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If you think about how they started Raw with the contract signing and just how much carnage there was with that. That was so exciting. And think about how they started with Drew and Heath Slater coming out. That was super exciting. And we're starting SmackDown with Miz TV and a video package. Do you know what I mean? This could be a more exciting start. So yeah, not feeling this. You tend to get this with Miz TV. That's the problem. But let's see where it leads. Let's see where it leads. I miss Botchasaurus, says Wrestling Days fan. BBY PSI says they have on in the Detroit area about a shooting, not SmackDown. Police have released video suspect. Oh, that's a shame. I doubt CM Punk will return. He said he never wanted to return. I haven't heard any news about CM Punk. I've not seen any rumours or anything, so I don't know where that's come from. We're just seeing last week with the toast. That was flat as well. I was kind of waiting for a payoff, or I was waiting for summer, and it was just Jeff beat up the bartender. And that bartender apparently is obviously a wrestler, but he has competed in NXT. He was a jobber down in NXT, the bartender. I don't think he's signed with WWE. They just bring him in. It's time for Morrison's singles push, says Joe. Yeah, I'm done with Miz and Morrison. I'm done with them. I don't find it entertaining. I've never found it entertaining. So, yeah, I agree. Let's move on. Jeff Hardy could be leaving WWE after this storyline, says Dalton. CM Punk's one of the greatest of all times. Yeah, he's very good, very good. His money, if they can bring him back, but I feel like they could if they gave him enough money. It's just if they want to. I don't know if they want to. You know, he did sue their doctor and spoke out against them, and he's never said anything too glowing about Triple H. So I don't know. Okay, so we're back from the clip. Yeah, this is it's just copy and repeat, man. Bring a guest on, insult them, guest, get. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're doing. They're insulting Jeff. Jeff says, I'm about to break something, implying that he's about to attack Miz and Morrison. Right? They're trying to butter him up now. Jeff wants to face the Fiend in the future. Could we get Willow? I wouldn't want it. I don't want Willow. I've got no interest in Willow. I think I've said this in previous streams. They're doing a lot to give us the real Jeff Hardy, talk about his problems and really address them, if you will. And as a result, this is the most engaging that I've ever found Jeff. This is the most I've ever been into him. Apart like since he's come back. So I kind of like what they're doing with Jeff. But it's not progressing. I do agree with that. Jeff says, I've been to a dark place that you guys can't even imagine. Jeff Hardy says, I'd be lying if I said Sheamus doesn't bother me. This is like 10 minutes of nothingness, really. Miz actually asked a fair question. Miz doesn't have anything to do with this, and every time this happens, one of them fight. The storyline started off so good, and now it's this. Yeah, it's just a bit flat. It's not the most exciting open. Jeff says he's going to be a beacon of light, which is very much what he's been saying for like a month now. Which, what else can he say? Do you know what I mean? If you're going to sit down and have this conversation with Jeff again and again and again, you're going to get the same answers. I'm going to be a beacon of light. I'm trying to overcome my troubles. Brilliant, fine, but we've heard it. We've done this. We've been here. This is like Groundhog Day. We've made no progress, Miz. Miz says, I feel like we've made some progress. In a bar. Bar fight. Oh. Brilliant. Miz says you need to get some payback on Sheamus. You should face him not in the ring, but in a bar fight. Jeff Hardy says, I'm never going back to where I was. I'm going to take Sheamus out in that bar fight. They're talking as if a bar fight has been booked. I'll take Sheamus out in that bar fight. What bar fight? Miz has just recommended it. No one's authorized a bar fight. You don't have to have a bar fight. Tell Sheamus I accept. Sheamus doesn't even know about it. Jeff challenges either Miz or Morrison to a match. What is happening? We don't have the WWE channel. Clarence, I've been saying, dude, what's been happening? We've got Jeff Hardy on Miz TV. It's been a flat segment for me, largely just saying what's already been said, but it built up to the fact that it looks like we're going to have Sheamus against Jeff Hardy in a bar fight at Extreme Rules. He's now said that he wants to take on either Miz or Morrison in a match because they've been insulting him. Okay, wow, look, it's a thing. It happened. It's done. I just don't like Miz TV. Whenever I see Miz TV, I know that for the next 10 minutes, there's a real good chance that I'm not going to be entertained. There's a real good chance that there's going to be a video package, that Miz and Morrison are just going to insult the guest, but it's not going to be in a way that's, you know, innovative or kind of like how Piper would have done it. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to be these just nothingness. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan of that start. I kind of feel that we've been getting some much more exciting opens than that. But at least we got the news that we're going to be getting a bar fight. Sheamus against Jeff Hardy. And that might be, I mean, visually, it might be quite interesting. I mean, a bar fight could be fun. I haven't got an issue with a bar fight. You know, Jeff Hardy and Sheamus, I don't know. I don't know if people, I think, want that to be moving on now. But, yeah, a bar fight could be all right. Could be all right. Something different, you know? So, I don't know where the bar's going to be. I hope it's not going to be set up in the ring and look like that stupid bar we had last week. I hope they go to a bar and we have a bar fight rather than it being just some drinks in the ring. Can you imagine that? Hello to Rathman. Hello to Gregoria. Bored, I'm going to go to bed, says Wowie Yowie. I prefer Truth TV to Miz TV. Yeah, Truth TV was fun. I can't get Friday Night Smackdown. What is going on? Commercial breaks. The rivalry has gone downhill. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, it kind of has. I think it's. I wanted to know who was driving the car. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I've still got questions about what happened ages ago. Like, Jeff Hardy was framed and we think that it was Sheamus, but Sheamus denies it. We need to get some payoff on that, you know? That would be a good way to move the story forward. But again, I mean, if it's meant to be like Sami Zayn that was behind it, perhaps Sami Zayn was the one that was driving the car. Perhaps it's just not because of the second spike. Perhaps plans have changed, and so, you know, we've taken a step backwards, and they're having to delay it. It's so hard to know what's planned and what's bad booking. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know how much blame I can give them at the moment. It's such a weird time. So I don't know. Bar fight will be all right. Bar fight will be all right. I'm on board with that. It's interesting. Jeff's promos are bad, says Rathman. I think Cesaro and Shinsuke will win. Doing a low blow to Kofi and the ref won't see it, says Zykomi. Dave says, what happened in the car crash? And Elias, why is it all being forgotten about? Well, this is the point. I don't know that it is being forgotten about. I don't know. I can't answer if it's being forgotten about or if it's a case that COVID is changing plans. So, I don't know. It's hard to know how much to blame them at the moment. I didn't understand that, though. Miz sat there and said, do you know what? You should have a rematch with Sheamus, and it should be in a bar fight. And Jeff's like, okay, tell him I accept. Hang on, I missed the bit where Sheamus even was involved in this at all. As far as I saw, Miz recommended it. And Jeff was like, yeah, tell him I accept. I mean, I'm sure Sheamus will do it, but it's a little strange. It might have been better to have had Sheamus appear on screen in a bar. Not at home in his home bar, but like in an actual bar. Having a drink with some people around and issued a challenge and then had Jeff Hardy accept that way. That might have looked a bit better, you know? But again, who knows? They could have had that planned and they just weren't able to do it. We're underway with Miz against Jeff Hardy. John Morrison is on the outside. John Morrison's in his wrestling attire. Might suggest that someone could come down and partner Jeff and we end up getting a tag match, but there's been a few examples recently where the person outside the ring has been in wrestling attire and they don't end up wrestling. So, I don't know. I'm not going to get too distracted by that. Kick by Jeff Hardy. We were underway with this first match. Karaoke tonight featuring Dana Brooke, Naomi, Lacey Evans and Tamina. Smith's Grove says Elias is legitimately injured. Febster says, how would you book Fiend versus Roman if Fiend is Universal Champ when Roman returns? I think... it depends if you've used John. I'd be bringing John back. I think if you're going to do Fiend Roman, you're going to do it at a big show. And I think visually it would be awesome if Fiend was winning, but Roman kept getting back up. And then Roman looked like he was about to win. And out of nowhere, heel Cena arrives. Helps the Fiend retain. That would be awesome. Kick out by The Miz there from Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy into the corner. Miz going over. Put over the ropes. Forearm strike by The Miz. And again. Kick by Jeff Hardy. Miz, springboard comes down. Kick to the midsection. Twist of fate. Twist of Fury, did he say? Did he say Twist of Fury? Twist of Fury by Jeff Hardy. Hardy going to the outside. Big splash. Miz and Morrison go down. So all three are down outside of the ring. I can't wait to see that, but be careful of the full Nelson. We need a heel Cena run. These people need to win the 2021 Men's Rumble and Women's Rumble. Cole and Liv or Io. I do like Adam Cole winning the Rumble. Liv, nowhere near. I think there's a lot to be said for momentum. Adam Cole's coming off the longest NXT Championship reign. When he goes up to the main roster, he's going to be positioned well. Undisputed Era, it could be that there's a bit of an invasion. Adam Cole's going to be there or thereabouts with plenty of momentum. Liv has got no momentum whatsoever, so Liv winning it doesn't work for me. I know you don't have to have momentum, but I think it helps. It certainly helps me. I like to see stars that have got something about them, that have got, a few wins, the support of the crowd. So, I don't know, EO, it might be a bit soon for EO. Hard to know. Who would you like to see win the women's? Who would you like to see win the women's? Who? Maybe Ronda. Maybe Ronda comes back and wins it, but I don't think people would like to see that. But the last time we saw her, she was in the main event of WrestleMania. And she is a former UFC champion, former Raw champion. And as we said last time we saw her, she was in the main event of WrestleMania. So talk a lot about momentum. She'd still be, even though we haven't seen her for a long time, you know, you bring her in at number 30, she's still going to have plenty about her. It's still Ronda Rousey. That might be all right. That might be quite cool. Easy, quick way to get her into a Mania match. But I think people would hate it. I wouldn't, but people would. I don't know. Who's got momentum at the moment? Sasha, Bailey. They've got momentum. Bailey's already a champion. Can't do Asuka. Maybe Sasha? I don't know. Depends where we are with the Sasha Bailey storyline at that point, won't it? Not Nia. That's my answer. Thinking about it, that's my answer. Not Nia. I would like to see Io win, but maybe Alexa. James Ellsworth. Yes, James Ellsworth. Twister Fury. That's new. Yeah, he did say Twister Fury. Perhaps they can't use Twister Fate or something. They've called him obnoxious again. Women's Tag Team Championship grudge match on Raw. Randy Orton goes one-on-one with R-Truth. What did he call him? Suave? Who is this guy? Who's this voiceover guy? He just called Bailey and Sasha obnoxious, but he called Andrade and Angel Garza suave? I don't understand. Chris DeZuba says, I want AJ Lee to win the Rumble. Oh, yeah, well, same here. I don't know how possible that is, but it'd be amazing. Vape Ross Vape says, Hardy was arrested less than a year ago. It's not right that WWE is using him as a sobriety role model. I wish him luck, but he isn't cured. I think my stance is still the same. I think if he's all right with it, I'm all right with it. As to whether he's cured or not, I genuinely don't know. I think it's going to be a lifetime battle. I don't know that he'll ever be cured. This is something that he's got to live with and work with. And yeah, I don't know that it's something that you get cured. But whilst he's working for them, I mean, I keep going back to the fact that I couldn't get into Jeff. And people were asking, should he be a champion, like a Universal champ or a WWE champ? And I kept saying no. Because how can you trust him? How can you trust him? How can you put a title on him? How can you believe in him? So the fact that they're addressing his issues and they're doing what they can to convince us that he has got it under control, it is making a difference for me. It is helping me feel a little bit more connected to him. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. As long as he's all right with it. I mean, if it turns out that he was never on board and he never felt comfortable, then my stance on it changes drastically. But as of right now, it's all right. But I get your point. I do get your point. Right, Miz in control at the moment as he was just firing some knees into Jeff. Springboard gets kicked. He said Twist of Fate that time. He said Twist of Fate. Michael Cole just said Jeff looking for the Twist of Fate. What is it, Michael Cole? Is it Twist of Fury or Twist of Fate? What is it? Is it Twist of Fury when you actually connect with it, but if you narrowly miss, it's Twist of Fate? I don't understand. I swear, Michael Cole's just making it up. Next time he goes for it, it'll be a twist of lemon. It's just awful. Big kick by Miz. Jeff Hardy goes down. Morrison was trying to get the crowd to do a hey, hey, ho, ho kind of a chant, but just wasn't. It's just, I don't know what it is, man. I just can't stand them. I just don't find them entertaining. It's just not how I would be using John Morrison. John Morrison deserves so much better than this. Into the back of Jeff Hardy. I like what Miz did there. He had Hardy over the ropes. Miz collided into him and then used his leg, like reversed it to knock him off the ropes. It was kind of nice. Big left hand strike by Miz. Jeff Hardy down on his knees. We've got a Jeff Hardy Chronicle this Sunday. Don't forget, Extreme Rules is a week on Sunday. So just over a week away. It means that next week we've got the go home shows. And tomorrow we've got UFC 251. I know I keep talking about it, but super excited. Cole and Sasha to win the Rumble. Orton versus Ciampa. Fiend versus Jeff. Punk versus Seth. Taker versus Sting need to happen. Rock versus Roman. I don't know they would do all of that at Rumble. Rock Roman, I think, would be WrestleMania. I'd imagine Punk would be Mania as well. Punk winning the Rumble would be awesome. Leg drops by Hardy. Basement drop kick. Splash. 1, 2. Kick out by Miz. Oh, it's nearly a quarter of the show, this. Last week they gave a quarter of the show to Matt Riddle. This week they're giving it to Miz and Jeff Hardy. Jennifer Lockhart, shout out to you, my friend. Jennifer says, to be fair, there is no cure for addiction. He will forever be a recovering addict, and he's doing great, facing it head on. So I support him. Jennifer Lockhart, shout out to you. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I can understand people saying that maybe it's a bit soon, because obviously he did have a lapse only last year. So I do get the counterpoint, if you will. Sheamus is on screen now, but he's not at a bar. He's at home. He's got a Guinness. You don't know what you're missing. One. Jeff Hardy up. Roll. 2, 3. Hardy gets the win on against Miz. Kind of backfires a little bit there. Sheamus was on screen drinking. Okay, so Jeff... Oh, look, it's over. It's done. At least it's over. It's the same thing week after week. That's the only problem. It's Sheamus and Miz putting, drinks in his face, basically. It is wearing thin. It is wearing thin. But the visual of a bar fight sounds quite exciting. So I'm on board with that. I don't really care about the alcohol side of things. Just having a fight in a different location. And a bar fight in particular. I mean, they can use, like, the pool table cues and, do you know what I mean? Cause a bit of damage. And, I mean, that sounds quite exciting. I'm on board with that. But I just don't like this constantly pushing alcohol in his face, if you will. It's just getting a bit old. But anyway, it's done. Quarter of the show is done. We're backstage with Nakamura and Cesaro. Nakamura giving his a very good unimpressed face. Cesaro says he's sick of New Day. I'm sick of them always being happy. They never change. Cesaro's like the New Day, never change. Very good. Very good from Cesaro. Very good. Fun little promo. Oh my god, what Cesaro just did there. I'm not being a hater, right? I'm not being a hater. I'm not being a moany mini. But that promo from Cesaro just entertained me more than what I had in the first half an hour. Without even thinking, it just entertained me more. Oh, God. I'm done moaning now. I'm done moaning. I'm going to stop being an old man sitting here moaning. Right. And I really have stopped moaning because I love these two. MVPs of the lockdown era. Bayley and Sasha, but Nikki Cross has come out of nowhere, jumped onto the back of Bayley. She had a sleeper hold on. Now Alexa's come down. Oh, yes, loving this. So, as we go to commercial break, good. Oh, no. Where's the text gone? Oh, no. Now we're moving the wrong things. So, a little advert for Extreme Rules. When we come back... Oh, my God. Carnage on the stream. The letters have gone so small, I can't even click on them anymore. Oh, brilliant. Great. Yeah, I meant to do that. Days, do you think Keith Lee will quickly drop one of the titles? Yeah, I should imagine so. I can't imagine he's going to carry them for very long. Why is that upside down? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't think he'll carry him for very long. It's not really beneficial having both of your men's titles on one person. So yeah, I think it will be forfeited, or he will be defeated, or he'll have to defend them. Maybe defend them both in the same night or something, and I don't know. Days. Jeff said that Twist of Fury is another variation of Twist of Fate. Twist of Fury is a neck breaker. It looked exactly the same. It honestly looked exactly the same. I would have to go back and rewatch it. I can't say I noticed any difference. So if there is a slight variation, that's interesting. This is a flat show so far. Yes, completely agree. Is Extreme Rules this Sunday? A week on Sunday, Sandra. A week on Sunday. Sonny Wolf, shout out to you. Liam Costa says, hello, Days, my friend. Do you think the Undisputed Era could be a face on the main roster? Because they're good enough to be face and heel, but I can't see them ever being face. I can't see them being face. I can see them doing what the Shield did. I really can. They could come up, destroy things, destroy people, be heels. I mean, you got to remember the Shield were heels when they first came up. But I just think they're going to be so cool, people aren't going to want to boo them. I mean, people don't boo them right now down in NXT. I just think they're going to be cool, and they'll probably find themselves in a situation where WWE will book them against some heels because they're just so over with the crowd that even if they're meant to be heels, they're not really heels. So I don't know. I don't know that a team like that is going to be so easy to say they're face or heels. I think it's going to be quite fluid. Do you know what I mean? I think they can be heels majority of the time. I think they'll be presented that way, but they can easily switch them to faces because they'll be getting face reactions. Chris DeZuba says, Days, do a UFC 1 watch along. There's not that many people that have got the fight pass, so I don't know that would be that fun. William Hensey says, Days, Triple T jumped in and left an important comment. Austin says you should read it. I didn't see it, so I can't say that I saw it. I didn't see it. Feel free to tell me what it said. But I'll see him soon anyway. Right, we're backstage with, who is this? Oh, yeah. A karaoke showdown. We've got Dana Brooke backstage practicing her dancing moves because that's always key to karaoke. Right, we're underway with this tag match. Wasn't this the first match we had during the lockdown era? I seem to recall the first show had Sasha and Bayley come down, and their first match was against Nikki and Alexa. So this has been a rivalry that's been running for a long, long time. So we are underway. Bayley in, kick to the midsection. Nikki Cross goes down. What are you doing, Dana? Don't know. She had a bit of an Elvis vibe going on, didn't she? NXT or Raw? Honestly, probably Raw. I love NXT. I think they do some really good stuff. But they also do some pretty poor stuff as well. You know, for every Keith Lee, Adam Cole, you've got Bronson Reed versus Tony Nese. Like, it's a real mixture of, like, matches that you really care about and superstars you really like and kind of emerging talent that you could argue should go to Evolve. If they're going to keep Evolve going, then Bronson Reed, Tony Nese, it's not a match that I would have on NXT. I think they've got more than enough talent to give us something a little bit more than that. I mean, again, I keep talking about how important momentum is. Neither of those guys have got any. Bronson Reed coming off loads of losses. I mean, lost twice to Karrion Kross. Tony Nese is just a utility guy that gets used on 205, gets used on wherever needed. NXT as well. Kick out. Whereas I feel that with Raw, I mean, Raw can be bad, but sometimes it can be really good. Alexa running out. I like that. Ran over, stood in front of Bayley, stopped. Bayley blocked her face, but Alexa smacked her in the midsection. Knee to the midsection by Bayley. Bayley picking up Alexa, driving her back to the corner. Sasha tags in. Sasha now going for a strike. Drop toe takedown by Alexa. Going over. Alexa tags in Nikki. Nikki comes in with a drop kick. Days, I saw a rumor that not all of Undisputed Era will get called up. It's interesting. Be a shame. Karrion Kross and Days, so now there will be an hourglass to Keith Lee. They're killing that angle. I don't know. I mean, I always felt like it was a bit too soon to go for the title for Karrion Kross anyway. He's not had a feud. He's had a couple of matches. Nikki has grabbed the SmackDown Women's title and she's waving it around. Okay, Nikki on the commentary table up top. Crossbody by Nikki. Bayley goes down. Nikki goes over, grabs the belt again. William Hens says, Days, Triple CT says, don't forget you've got Escape Pod after this, and Austin gave you an interesting topic to talk about. We do have Escape Pod. It's actually scrolling along the top. Anna Dawes says, serious question, has Dana forgotten her meds? Yeah. I don't know what she was doing. I'm honestly just not feeling wrestling tonight. Do you know, I would be feeling it tonight. I was up for it. It's just not a good show. Is the truth? It's just so far not a good show. I normally really like these as well, but this match is just paint by numbers at the moment. I don't know. Let's see. First 40 odd minutes. If you never watched this, you didn't miss anything. I mean, the only thing we've learned is that Jeff and Sheamus are going to have a bar fight at Extreme Rules. I mean, that's it. If I'd come up to you and said, just so you know, Jeff Hardy and Sheamus are going to have a bar fight at Extreme Rules, you'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Makes sense, I suppose. What I just told you in 5 seconds is as much as I've got from this show in 43 minutes. So, yeah, no, I can't. I just can't. Days, are we going to see you on Wrestle Talks Quizmania? No. Jerry Smith says, Days, I'm getting tired of the cinematic matches. I would rather have a real wrestling match. Yeah, I agree. I'm gutted for... Well, I don't mind cinematic. They've been doing a lot of them, and not all of them have been good. But I think we can agree that Edge Orton was excellent. I think we can agree that Boneyard was excellent. I think visually, Firefly Funhouse was excellent. I think Money in the Bank was very enjoyable. I really enjoyed that. Maybe a couple of moments that I wouldn't have had the doink moment. I wouldn't have done the food fight bit. I wouldn't have done AJ discovering that random Undertaker room. But then there was some fun stuff where they're fighting in Vince's office. You know, love that. Asuka winning, love that. In fact, a few moments like Asuka in the lift, and just silly little things like that. Seeing Brother Love, I thought was great. So, yeah, I mean, look, some of the cinematic matches have been great. Some not so much. But, yeah, I agree. I do miss just great in-ring matches. We've not had tons of those. I think that Bumpy Awards showed there's not been tons of great matches, you know? Because some of the nominations weren't that good. They were all right. Head scissors takedown. Sasha goes out of the ring. Truth is, I think it's difficult to have... Not impossible, but difficult to have great matches without a crowd. That's kind of what we've learned. It's not impossible. But it's more unlikely. I think that's fair. Right, we're back. Alexa in ring with Sasha. Nikki on the outside. Bayley in the ring as well, sorry. Sasha outside of the ring. Bayley was choking Alexa against the rope. Crowd seemed to be a little more animated this week, which is good. I mean, they couldn't really be less animated than they've been, considering they get paid. It's kind of a sham how poor they've been. Going over, tagging in Sasha. Sasha coming into the ring. 1, 2. Kick out by Alexa. Knee to the midsection. Smile on Sasha's face. She tries to roll up Alexa. If you are watching and you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. Make sure that you're joining us. We're here Monday. Well, what days do we stream? Monday. I don't know what's happening on Tuesdays now, because there's no NWA, and we might do something. We might continue with the WrestleMania watch-alongs. I'm still on board with. I'd like to do WrestleMania 4 at some point, so I'm on board with that and just work through. So I don't know that will be Tuesday. I don't know is the answer. But anyway, we're here for Raw. We're here for NXT AEW. We're here for SmackDown. Of course, we're here tomorrow for UFC 251. We're going to be here for Extreme Rules. Bayley having some words with the ref, going over to Alexa. Alexa driving the elbow to the midsection of Bayley, going up top as well. Alexa trying to make that tag to Nikki. She gets driven back into the corner. Down. Bayley is going to slingshot Alexa into Sasha. Sasha with a big strike. She gets Alexa down, goes for the pin. Alexa kicks out. Alexa trying to get over to Nikki. And Nikki is trying to get a Lexi chant started. Days, I feel bad because I love Jeff, but the storyline with Sheamus, even though it was all right at first, is now getting a little bit boring. Give Jeff a push, for crying out loud, says Sophia. Yeah, I don't think you're alone, mate. I think most people that that have been in the chat have said similar. The story was fine at first, you know. Some people maybe weren't on board, but I think most people were. But yeah, I think it is. I think it's just the same thing week after week after week. It's just a different way of having Sheamus wave an alcoholic drink in Jeff's face and Jeff saying the same promo again. Slap from Alexa. Bayley was talking some trash to Alexa. Double knees by Alexa. Nikki Cross gets tagged in. And of course, Bayley and Nikki are going to be going at it at Extreme Rules. Nikki going for a clothesline to Bayley. She manages to drive Sasha. That was nice. I like that from Nikki. She grabs Sasha, and before she goes for the running bulldog, she actually kicks back at Bayley, who was in the corner. So she managed to do a bit of damage to Bayley and then run forward and deliver a running bulldog. Nikki Cross, an absolute ball of activity here. All over the place, says Michael Cole. I agree. Looking for a nice tornado DDT. Bayley, though, trying to get a quick pin on Nikki. Straight to the midsection by Nikki. Charging over, collides into Bayley, into the corner. Nikki up. Looking for another tornado DDT. Couldn't get it. Swinging net breaker. Nikki going for the pin. 2. Sasha Banks makes the save. Alexa pops up. Drags Banks out the ring. Forearm strikes by Alexa. Banks reverses. And it's Alexa that goes into the barricade. Boos for Sasha. Nikki. Drop kick through the ropes, but Bayley rolls her up too. Uses the ropes. Bayley wins. Bayley and Sasha win. Shock on the face of Nikki Cross. Bayley and Sasha steal it. Days, I think Daniel would be brought back to main event scene anytime soon? I don't know what you mean, buddy. Jay Whitefeather, shout out to you. This is boring. Yeah, you're not alone, bud. You're not alone. Train Dude 5 says a roll up. Are you kidding me? Devastation. Devastation. That move guaranteed. Are they going to show us the Money in the Bank match now? I forgot about that. They're talking about Braun and Bray, and apparently we're going to watch the Money in the Bank match between these two. I might be getting offered a job soon, so whenever that might be, I might not be on a lot depending of times. No worries, dude. Days, what is your favourite live stream? Favorite live stream? like Raw. I like Raw. I think the reason I like Raw is because SmackDown's on a Friday. On a Saturday, you've got UFC. Sunday, there doesn't tend to be a show. So it's been a couple of days. And it always, I don't know what it is, but like, you know, Saturday, Sunday, the weekend, you get to Monday, start of a new week. Everyone's got that Monday feeling. But by the time you get to Raw, do you know what I mean? It kind of feels like the start of a new week. What are they going to do this? I always see it, and maybe this is wrong. I always see Raw as the start of the week and SmackDown as the end. But I suppose in a way, SmackDown is the start of the weekend and Raw finishes the weekend. But I never look at it that way. I always see it that Raw is like the start of the week. So it's kind of like a new week. What have they got in store for us? We've just gone through a couple of days with no wrestling. So I always look forward to Raw. And Raw historically has always been the A show. So it's always been the bigger show. You could argue that it's SmackDown now that's the bigger show. But, well, this is awful. So I don't think it's the bigger show tonight. This is the big show tonight. That's what it was. It's not the bigger show. It's the big show. So, yeah, I like the Raw one. The SmackDown, very close. Oh, I love these streams. I just love sitting down and just watching one show. I do love NWA as well. NWA has always been a stream that I've loved, but it's been so long since we had Power. I mean, I can't even remember what it's like anymore. So I'm very much looking forward to that coming back. UFC or WWE? Bryce, shout out to you. UFC or WWE? I love them both. I mean, if I had to choose, if I was forced to choose, I would choose WWE. Because I've grown up with it, I've watched it for longer. You know, I know more, well, without a shadow of a doubt, I know more about the history of wrestling than I do MMA. I mean, there's a lot in MMA like that I need to learn, and I'm still learning. But I know about the fighters, and I know what I need to know. I know enough whereby I can watch and enjoy a UFC show and know what I'm looking out for, and we've been doing that. I mean, we've been doing UFC watch-alongs for a couple of years now. But I definitely know more about wrestling than I do about MMA. So if I had to choose, I'd go WWE. But I've got a real passion for UFC. Genuinely do. I've got signed top cards from like key UFC fighters. I've shown them on streams before. This is the brand new trailer for Battlegrounds, which I think looks fun. Brawl with friends. Brawl with family. Look at this. Sergeant Slaughter, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. Apparently Hogan's in the game. Andre's in the game. Fiend's in the game. So on board. Electrified cage. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Play without limits. Look at that Wrestlemania arena as well. And you can see Yokozuna in the background. I'm really excited about Yokozuna. Pre-order now. Definitely playing that. It reminds me of WWE All-Stars. Right, they're talking about the Wyatt Swamp fight. What time is it? Oh, we're getting to the halfway point. Not sure I'm looking forward to seeing the halftime scores this week. Okay, Money in the Bank. We're really glad that you're our friend. Never ever end. Right, I don't know if this is the whole match, but the fact we're getting entrances kind of implies that it is. Wow, let's put Funhouse Bray. Money in the bank. This is all right. This is all right. It's always fun seeing Funhouse Bray. Who has the best finisher in the women's division? I like the Asuka lock. I like the bank statement. Figure eight's cool. Twisted Bliss is all right. I don't know. I don't know that anyone's got an amazing finisher. In all fairness, I do like the Asuka lock. Legit, I like the Asuka lock. But is an Asuka lock better than a bank statement? Figure eight's all right. I don't know. I'll stick with Asuka. If in doubt, go with Asuka. That's my life's motto. Days, when do you think Bayley will lose the women's title? I don't think she loses it to Nikki. I don't think she loses it to Nikki. She could. I don't think she will. I would imagine that Sasha will go up against Bayley for that women's championship. So I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know when she loses it, but I'm going to say that it's going to be on the line when they finally face each other. So maybe she loses it to Sasha. Days, do you think Asuka will win at Extreme Rules? I think she will. I think she will. I would imagine that Sasha is gonna go after Bayley because she wasn't successful going after the Raw title. I mean, she wants a belt. So if she can't get the Raw title, the only other title she can go for outside of NXT would be Bayley's. So it might be a way of getting us towards that feud. So Bayley retains, Asuka retains, and maybe we take a big step forward towards it being Bayley and Sasha. And maybe that's SummerSlam. So I know we keep saying, oh, they're going to turn on each other. We could be getting very close to that. Right, get your halftime scores in. Let's do it right now. I hate repeat matches. We said this at the start. I agree. You've seen it before, so we know what's going to happen. It's kind of, I feel like I'm being punished. Do you know what I mean? I watch WWE a lot, and as a result, I get punished. If you're a casual fan that doesn't watch that much, you don't have the network, you don't watch the pay-per-views, you get rewarded. Here's what you missed. Please love us. I feel like I'm in a relationship with WWE and they keep cheating on me. 2, 1, 0.5, 2, 5, 3, 2, 2. These are some of the lowest scores I've ever seen. Honestly. 2, 4, 0.69, 10, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4, 8, says Kevin. 10 Keith Lees out of 10. Rathman, 2 or 3. 2, 3, 6, 2, 5. 025 7 4.84 3 4 4 0 25 4 5.5. Wow, guys, I didn't expect the scores to be good, but I think the fact that the average is probably 3 is wow. Whew. Good work, WWE. You're killing it. It's weird, actually, to go back to Money in the Bank that doesn't feel like it was that long ago. There's no crowd. There's no plexiglass. And the number of cases in the US was less than what they've got right now. Lol. 2, 5, 4, 4, 2, 5, 2. Aaron says, I really hope the karaoke showdown isn't tonight's main event. No, I would imagine that New Day against Cesaro and Nakamura will be tonight's main event. Sasha Bayley at Evolution 2. I don't know if they're going to... I I don't know if they'll do Evolution 2. I don't want them to, if I'm being honest. And I'll tell you why. Because the rumor is that if they do it, they're going to bring Tessa in. So my hope is that they don't do it and they don't bring Tessa in at all. So I would rather have... Actually, I would genuinely rather have 2 nights of SummerSlam than Evolution 2 at the moment. I'm totally on board with Evolution, but I wouldn't do it the same weekend as SummerSlam. Do you know what I mean? Why not do... I don't know what's after SummerSlam. I don't know what the next pay-per-view would be after SummerSlam. What September's pay-per-view is. Because obviously we know July is Extreme Rules. August is SummerSlam. I don't know what September is. There's Huskus. Ledge. I like how Michael Cole, as a commentator, is casually... I don't know if I noticed this at the time, but he was just leaning against the barricade as Huskus pops up. He's just chatting. He's just like, wow, Huskus is here. We've got Bray in control. It's like, Michael, I think the fact that a puppet of a pig with chocolate around its mouth that we rarely see in the arena, I think the fact that he's just appeared, I think the impact of that might be getting a little bit lost by your nonchalant delivery. The fact that you're leaning against the barricade. Well, Huskus has arrived, and we've got Bray in the ring right now again. But, do you know what I mean? If that was me, I'd be like, Huskus is here! Huskus! Can we get a few words with her? We haven't got time to... Well, we've got to call the action, but Huskus is here. Huskus, is brilliant to see you. Welcome to the performance set. That would be my reaction. Wouldn't be blanking him. Bray, very upset, says, look what you made me do, as he hurls Braun into those ring steps. Ghost EP says, this has been bad. On a positive note, New Japan Cup has had some fire matches this weekend. Can't wait. Yeah, Dominion. Is it Dominion Sunday? I tell you, I've got plans for a UFC stream that's going to be about 9 hours long. So I just don't think I'm going to have a voice or even be able to stream Dominion after. Otherwise, I would. I'm still kind of tempted, but I don't want to say that I'm definitely going to. Because I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch it. Because that's going to be hardcore, man. 9-hour stream. 9 hours. It might even be longer. It might even be... It depends how long it goes for. Cole should be like, oh my, it's Huskus. Damn, Mr. Rogers really let himself go. He did, Scott, he did. Days, my score would be lower, but Sasha Bailey was good, so 5.5. Days, when did you start watching WWE? 92 Survivor Series was the first thing that I saw. Days, I would have done the Firefly Funhouse match as a special segment on a go-home SmackDown, which would have made Cena mentally traumatized, and then a real match. By the way, Fiend versus a vulnerable Cena at Mania. My feeling on the Firefly, I've said this before, I think that in the go-home to WrestleMania, we saw a very interesting segment with Cena where he was looking at the platform and the Bray was there. No, the Fiend was there. And then right next to him, in a moment's notice, was Bray. And I remember at the time saying, and like the puppets were all around. And I just wonder if that was the moment that he let him in. I wonder if what we saw was Cena letting the Fiend in on the go-home show. We didn't know it at the time. But I just wonder if something happened, if Bray managed to get to Cena, and as a result, that's how Cena could see the puppets and things like this. Which means that Cena and Bray were then working together. They were on the same page, which is why they showed us what they showed us at WrestleMania. Because it's a very hard thing to explain, that Firefly Funhouse match. I very much like the idea that it was them working together to show us why Cena is now a heel. Because I think he is now a heel. I think he has let the darkness in, the Fiend in. I think that he did show us that, you know, he was embracing his darker side during that Firefly Funhouse presentation thing at WrestleMania. And I think it's all a way to show us that Cena has now turned heel. So I really hope next time we see John Cena, I really hope next time we see him, he is a heel. Otherwise, I will be at a loss as to what that Firefly Funhouse match was all about. But I keep saying this, with the Firefly Funhouse, they keep putting a lot of stuff out there that's very visual, that you can then interpret however you want, and then you don't tend to get actual answers. So it means that they, you know, they're not right, they're not wrong. They just tend to put some out there and then move on. Ryan Reynolds, shout out to you, my friend, says, do they even have enough female talent, what with COVID being so bad? Last thing we need is Dana Brooke versus Tamina just to fill time. It's true. It's true. I think they do if you use NXT. I mean, in NXT, you've got Candice, Mia Yim, Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai. I mean, we see them on a weekly basis. So there's definitely a good chunk there. Of course, you've got Bayley, Sasha, Alexa, Nikki, Asuka. Seemingly Kyrie is around at the moment. I mean, if you was to do... I mean, you could put on a big show. You really could put on a big show if you just use the women's division and you use all three brands. Yeah, I think you could easily get a show out of it. I don't know what your main event would be. I would love Kyrie versus Asuka versus Io. I would love that match. So that would be great. Bayley versus... I mean, could you imagine? Bayley versus Sasha. Amazing. Asuka versus Kyrie versus Io. Amazing. Maybe in the build, you could get the tag titles onto someone else so that the tag titles could be Iconics against Alexa and Nikki. Be all right. Be on board with that. Or maybe you finally pulled the trigger on Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. Or Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez. Perhaps you include those guys. Could be quite interesting. Then you could do like some kind of battle royal. Winner gets number one contender. I mean, there's 4 matches? And that's without even bringing back any legends, you know? Bring back a legend for like a high-profile match, there's 5. And I'm sure you could do some grudge matches, you know? Mia Yim, Candice could probably do something. Right, we're at the point with this match, but a good point, yeah. I don't think any of us are clamoring for Dana Brooke Tamina. Right, we've got Bray down on his knees in the ring. Braun has just put on that black sheep's mask. So Braun making Bray think that he is submitting here. That both of them put their arms out. Bray just so thankful that Braun has returned. The black sheep has returned. Bray stands, laughs. I told them. It does make Bray look a little bit foolish, doesn't it, this? That he believed. Because the two embrace. You did it, Bray. Even the puppets are all fooled. Rambling rabbits here. Braun pushes Bray. Takes the mask off. I think he says, "What are you doing?" Drops it down on the floor. Stomps on it. Scoops up Bray. Strowman. There was no running. There was no running, Michael Cole. There we go. One power slam. One power slam. Funhouse Bray is the black sheep of the Funhouse, isn't he? He gets beaten with one power slam. I bet the Fiend is very disappointed. I bet the Fiend's thinking, I should have taken over a different vessel. I should have taken over a different body. This one can be beaten with one power slam. Why didn't I consume Brock Lesnar? Oh! What did that mask ever do to you, Strowman? Says David Holt. Yeah. Justice for the mask. Wow, look, it's over. I'm just glad it's over. It's not a bad match. I'm not down on the match. I've just seen it. So there we go. Braun versus Bray. The Eater of Worlds Bray in the Wyatt Swamp match. That's going to be the horror show at Extreme Rules. Pablo Gamer, shout out to you. New Day. All right, we've got New Day backstage. Okay, let's see what these guys have got to say. Look at the face on Big E. Here we go again. They're making fun out of, is it Sarah Schreiber? Is it that woman again? Love Big E's facial reactions here. What? They're talking about some random song. We're going to pump our knees. Are they getting Sarah to join in? Why is Sarah joining in? They never asked Sarah to join in. She always gets involved, this woman. She interferes. At no point did they say to Sarah, pump your knees, join us. At no point. Instead, she just starts joining in. I'd be like, I'm sorry. Did I say that you could join in? Lot of fun. Oh. She's like, oh. No one's asking you to clap either, Sarah. No one's asked you to clap. Oh, I hate this woman. No one's asked her to start marching. No one's asked her to start clapping. Oh, we got the karaoke showdown. The karaoke showdown is coming up next. It's just nice to see Naomi. Oh, Naomi. I've missed Naomi. Great talent. Great talent. Big E is gross with his overacting. Karaoke Showdown. That could be the name of like a future pay-per-view. WWE Karaoke Showdown. Days, don't hate her. I do hate her. She gets involved in everything. Her job is to just ask questions. She interrupts. She starts marching. She starts clapping. Who does she think she is? In my mind, she's still new. She's still in her probation period. I'm sorry, but I don't know that I'd be signing her probation off. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Ghost EP says, Days, what was your first live event? Mine was SummerSlam 92. Oh, no way. I was 15, and I'm only 21. Same. I feel you. We're kindred spirits, you and I. I'm also only 21. I unfortunately got into wrestling after SummerSlam 92, but only just. I think SummerSlam 92 probably is the reason why I'm into wrestling, because I think SummerSlam 92 is what got my cousin into it. And so he started watching it, and then of course he told me about it. But by the time I got into it, we were at Survivor Series 92. So it was just a little bit after. But yeah, I didn't hear about SummerSlam 92. That event totally happened without me being into wrestling, knowing that it was happening. I don't remember any press for it. I don't remember seeing wrestlers on kid shows. I do not remember anything about SummerSlam 92 is one of the biggest wrestling events ever. It took place in the UK. It's still the only major pay-per-view that WWE have held in the UK. I was alive at the time, and it completely happened without my knowledge. And I would have been their target audience. I would have been their target market. But for whatever reason, they did not reach me. No one that I know was talking about it at school. It just wasn't on my radar. So strange. You can imagine how weird it is to find out that this massive thing happened at Wembley. And apparently 80,000 people found out about it, but no one told me. So, there we go. Gutted. So my first show would have been, I don't know if it was 93 or 94, but my first show will have been house show in Birmingham. My mum would have took me to. She would have bought the tickets for when they came over. And I've got pictures, and I don't know. I can't put my hands on them right now. I don't know. I feel like they're real close. I feel like they're around here. But I've actually got pictures from that show. The pictures are awful because my mom is rubbish at taking pictures. That's what I've learned. Plus, it was 94, and their cameras, so you can't see what the picture looks like until you get them developed. But what I will give her credit for is she took pictures. So thank you to her. And you can make out who the superstars are. And I really appreciate that. Because at least I know who I saw. Because I can't remember. But she says that when we were there, the only thing I kept saying back in 93 or 94, right? All the way there, the only thing I kept asking when we got there, the only thing I was asking is, will we see The Undertaker? And we did. And I was super happy. Right. Mark Clark, shout out to you, says, Days, you're fired to that report. You're fired. Oh, that felt good. That felt good. I needed that. I feel like I've cleansed. Anna says, is the fact that the show is rubbish have any correlation to me being available for tonight's stream? If yes, I sincerely apologize. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to blame you, Anna, but I am getting a few DMs coming through saying it is your fault, so. Shout out to you, Anna. Hope you are well. Yeah, what is this? sass, class, Southern Belle. Oh, she's singing with my baby tonight. Oh, yes. Well, if you're going to do karaoke, then do WWE songs. On the go. Keep spinning too slow. I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. I'm surprised Sarah Schreiber hasn't come down and stole the mic. Little finger. Yes. She's not very good. Wait to be alone with my baby tonight. Turn the lights down low. Behind your arms, baby, let me go. No. No, it's the kind of thing that you sit at a bar, you might have a drink, you might politely just give it a... You know what I mean? One of those, but you're just doing it out of being polite. Here we go. Dana. Honky Tonk Man, she's channeling Honky? Yes! Okay, Dana's winning already. Yes! And big Cadillac. Going honky tonk man. Honky tonk man. You're the honky tonk man. I'm cool. I'm hard. I'm bad. Oh, it's not gone well. I'm bad. I'm hunky. I think I'd still be giving it to Dana. Oh, hello. Can I just say this is easily the best segment tonight? I thought this was going to be trash. It's time to play the game. The game. Give it a bit of come on, woman. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, she didn't even get to the song. She didn't get a chance. I don't understand. We didn't even get to It's all about the game and how you play it. Oh, what American Dream? Are we doing America? Ah! Dream. He's just a common man, working hard with his hands. And hard. 'Cause he's an American dream. Come on, Naomi! She's alright. None of them are like, you know what I mean? Dusty Rhodes, man. Yeah, that's it. That's better. Getting in the face of Lacey. Notice how she's not being cut off as well by Jey Uso. It's as if they're, like, related. The dream. The dream. We need to get Sweet Sapphire out here. That's what we need to do. I wonder if Cody's enjoying this. I should imagine Twitter's like, oh, shots fired. Shots fired. Nah, it's just a killer song. It's a great song. Written by Jimmy Hart. Good song selections, man. I've enjoyed this. Shame none of them can sing. I mean, not that I'm one to talk, but... Who are you going for? Who are you going for? This is wrestling. This is wrestling. Look, if they could sing, this would be fun. Naomi. I might be going with Naomi. This is better than Miss TV. This was a million times better than Miss TV. It's just great to hear some of the old songs. Oh, overwhelming support for Naomi. AE-dub! 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 AE-dub wins again! AE-dub wins again! Do Cody's now! Do Cody's! Ah, boo! Do you know what would have been funny if they did The Boy Is Mine by Brandy? Really fire some shots. I know it's not the same Brandy, but... The boy is mine. I'm sorry that you seem to be confused. He belongs to me. The boy is mine. That's a tune, that is. Brandy and Monica. That was garbage, and it was still the best thing that's happened tonight. CM Punk. Naomi versus Lacey. Please, can we go to the main event after this? Act like a lady, Lacey. A Lacey heel turn. Days, how you doing? We're surviving. Sophia says, that was not as bad as I thought. It was kind of fun. I enjoyed just hearing some of the songs. When they said it was going to be a karaoke sing-along, for some reason, I was expecting it to be just awful pop songs I'd never heard of or cared about. But the fact they did some classic wrestling ones, it's nice callbacks. But it's just a real shame none of them could sing. Because if they'd have been able to sing and really given some good performances, you know? If they'd really been able to shine, that would have been fun. But yeah, I think I had more fun singing along than actually watching and listening. But hey, look, you've got to just have fun. However you have fun, yeah. However, wherever you can find the fun, just find it. Just to survive, just to get through. That's what this is. This is do you know what I mean? This is like a survival test. I just imagine that the Marines get shown this and told they have to survive all 2 hours. Really test them, you know. Anna Dawes says, my winner was the mute button. We have a winner! How is that the best segment of the show? WWE has got some explaining to do. Sophia, shout out to you. Tamina, time to play game. Ha 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 ha. Mark Clark. I found that disrespectful, says Kieran. See Wrestling, shout out to you, says, do you think that was all Naomi's idea? We saw them singing on Total Divas. Maybe. I wonder if that'll be on Total Divas. Perhaps they've only done that because of Total Divas. Is Total Divas still going? I don't know. But perhaps they've... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they got to it. But the fact that it's... Not only is it not the worst part of the show, but it's actually in the run-in for the best part of the show. Whew. It's not been a good show. Jalen Chandler, shout out to you. Has got, I think it's a pair. I'm not too sure. Saying, hey you. Shout out to you, dude. This Monday, we've got Bayley and Sasha, because they're on everything, taking on the Kabuki Warriors in a women's tag team championship match. Randy Orton For no reason, he's going up against R-Truth. Perhaps he really wants that 24/7 title. He's desperate for it. He's had the greatest wrestling match and now he wants a belt. But he doesn't want the drama of going after Drew. They're fighting. They're fighting with no shoes on. They're fighting barefoot. It's quite interesting. Lacey in a dress. We've started to see this a little bit more, haven't we? Where they start to do fights in like civilian attire. But I don't know that I've seen a fight in a dress like this. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. Lacey Evans versus Naomi. I should imagine it's much easier for Naomi. She's using the dress as a weapon. She's using the dress as a weapon. She's actually put it and wrapped it round the face of Naomi. That's nasty. Ooh, that's nasty. Kick to the head by Naomi. Lacey Evans is down. Kick to the back as well. Sounded vicious. Lacey drops out of the ring. Dana going round. Dana gets pushed. Has Dana's hair come out? Has Dana's hair come out? What's that on the floor? I think that's Dana's hair. Now Dana's hair has come out. Everyone's hair keeps falling out in wrestling. Right, well now we've got Dana and Tamina. Even this was rubbish. Well now we've got four... What's happening now? Is it going to be a tag match? Is Teddy Long going to get involved, player? What's happening? Okay, well... God, why can't we just... Why do all karaoke evenings end that way? Oh, here she is. Here she is. I hate this woman. She can't even do a too sweet. She can't even do a too sweet. She can't do a too sweet. This woman. Okay, we've got AJ Styles talking to Sarah Schreiber. AJ says no one's worthy. Undertaker's never been Intercontinental Champion. Fun fact. Oh. You're defending it next week. Against who? Against Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle? Oh my God! Well, actually, he upset you in his debut match on SmackDown. So, Riddle. Next week. New Day. Riddle AJ next week for the title, yeah. So what this main event time now, yeah? Feel the power. Stupid Sarah. Yeah, Chalmers. Welcome to the dark side. Oh, God, do we need the power of positivity? Woo! Do we need it? We love Sarah, says Chris. Oh, get a room. Does anyone else like Sarah? No. Maybe Sarah is the one making these matches. It would explain SmackDown. Well, she certainly seems to know everything that's going on. I hate that woman. Right, they're throwing their jackets at Corey. Bruce is busy with Raw, so he's left Sarah in charge. I think you're right. I think you've called it, see? I think that is exactly what's happening. Days, name every soccer team you know in alphabetical order. No. We would be here a long time. I have a decent knowledge of, like, soccer teams. Not like a crazy knowledge, but I think I could name, like, Serie A teams, La Liga teams, Bundesliga teams. Obviously, the Premier League teams, Scottish teams. The American teams. MLS, is it? Major League Soccer. Few other random teams. So, can I name them all and put them into alphabetical order? No. Feel the power of positivity. Sarah Logan should go back to NXT. She's not with them anymore, and she's pregnant. So, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to give this episode a 2 sweet out of 10 sweets. Oh, that was good. I like that. Well done, Esteban. Oh, I'm going to give this show a 2 sweet out of 10 sweets. Chelsea are better than Man U. Days, Slick and Teddy Long guest managers. Main event time, yes. The Rye Guy fam, shout out to you, my friend. Bryce, shout out to you. Days, are you looking forward to UFC Fight Island? I'm not even thinking of anything else. Even my hatred for Sarah can't get in the way for my enthusiasm, excitement, love for tomorrow. I'm genuinely excited. I mean, I've watched so much on it. Even like the UFC countdown videos where they talk about all of the matches, and I've seen Dana talking about the pre-card matches and, you know, what you should be looking out for. I've watched prediction videos. I've watched old fights. I've still got more to do. But yeah, I'm so excited. The more that you look into it, and the more that you look at the statistics, and the more that you see what the retired fighters are saying and all this kind of, the more you get excited, you know. It's like anything, I suppose, but yeah, I've looked into this more than I've looked into any other UFC show ever. Yeah, just yes. I'm very excited. Papa hit him with that slogan. What happens there happens here. Forever. Days, the best part of tonight is you talking about Sarah. I hope not, 'cause I hate that woman. I mean, it's nothing personal. I'm sure that she's lovely. I just hate her and everything about her and her family. But other than that, I think she does a great job. A 9-hour stream. Shout out to Clarence. WWE is the worst. Thank God it's UFC tomorrow. Days, where is green shirt guy? I don't know. I don't know. I should imagine outside banging on the doors. He's probably in a tent outside the performance center, trying to get as close to the ring as he can. I can't believe not one of those in the crowd have wore a green shirt. It'd just be an easy... It'd be an easy thing to do. Just put one of them in a green smiley face shirt. They're all wearing merch. Why can't one of them wear a green smiley face shirt? That would be amazing. Kofi doing some thrusts. Big E bouncing on the ropes in the corner. Yes or no, will the titles change hands tonight? Yes or no, will the titles change hands tonight? Yes or no? Days, definitely stalk Sarah's social medias. No, we're not doing that. As I said, I got nothing against her. I just hate the job she does. Where's our Mr. Money in the Bank? I don't know. I've never been so unengaged in a wrestling show. No, yes, no. Hello, Kato, shout out to you. Yes, says Winston. Yes, no, says John. No, says Mo S. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I hope, says Scott. No, yes, no. Little bit of a mixed bag here. RCN LJ Lion 1 YT. Shout out to you. Hopefully, says Huskers. We definitely need it. Oh, we need it. We need that talking point. Give me that talking point. How long have they been champs for? Just out of interest. Let's have a look. Smackdown Tag Team Championship. Let's have a look. Cesaro. Shinsuke. I do love that. Shinsuke. He doesn't. Who else does he do that with? He doesn't say Kofi, Undertaker. He doesn't do it with anyone else. Big E. Does he? Shinsuke. Well, I don't understand. The New Day have been champs since April 17th. 84 days. 84 days. 84 days is not a bad reign, actually. Not a bad reign. Did you know that the Bludgeon Brothers held it for 135 days? I didn't. And I watched it. Usos 182. That's a good reign, isn't it? That's from 2017, 182. Obviously, the titles only go back to 2016. The first champs were Heath Slater and Rhino. They held it for 83. Wyatt family held it for 23. Longest reign is the Usos at 182. New Day are at 84. New Day have held these titles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 6 times they've held these belts since the end of 2016. 6 times in 3 years. Madness. Nearly 4 years in all fairness. Interesting though. Last champions, Daniel Bryan and Rowan, lost to the New Day. They lost to the Revival. They lost it back to the New Day. They lost it to Miz and Morrison, and then the New Day got it back again. But there we go. Lots of information, lots of facts. We've 15 minutes to find out if Nakamura and Cesaro are going to be adding their names to this list. The community is not sure. People in the chat aren't sure which way this is going to go. I think there's a little bit of fear in the community. I think people are afraid. People are straight up afraid. We should be going to commercial break in a second as well. Nakamura goes to the outside thanks to Big E. Kofi goes into the corner. Missile drop kick to Cesaro. Cesaro backed into the corner. Big forearm strike by Kofi. Kicks to the midsection. Big E coming in. Is stomping away. The unicorn stomp. They used to do this with Xavier where they'll stomp away. They'll tag in. They'll just keep... It's good. It's good. Okay, Kofi gets hurled into Cesaro. Cesaro rolls out the ring. Is that going to see us to commercial? I think we've got one big spot coming up first as Kofi goes up, comes into a European uppercut. And that takes us to commercial. There we go. Shinsuke. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? I actually want Cesaro and Nakamura to win this. Yeah, I do as well. I do. Days, what is better, AEW or UFC? Well, I don't know. I mean, I like wrestling. If I had to choose between AEW or UFC, I'm choosing UFC. They're a much bigger promotion. Equally, if I had to choose just NXT or UFC, I would choose UFC because UFC is a much bigger promotion. But if I have to choose WWE, which is everything connected to it, you know, or UFC, then I would choose WWE. If I had to choose wrestling or UFC, I would choose wrestling. But if it's just AEW as a promotion, like if you said you can't watch AEW anymore or you can't watch UFC, I'm dropping AEW. I'm dropping it like it's hot. So, UFC for me. But for all of you AEW fans out there, I would do the exact same if it was NXT against UFC. Days, the reason I want Shinsuke and Cesaro to win is because of how bad this show is. Harvey says, Days, ding dong, merrily on high. The heaven bells are ringing. Ding dong, verily the sky is riddled with angels singing. Gloria, Hosanna in Excelsior. Isn't that a Christmas song? Why are we breaking that out in July? I want the Freebirds to win. Yes. Days, I know you don't watch Impact, but there has been rumours that EC3, Eric Young, Mike Bennett, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Leo Rush, Kurt Hawkins, Rusev, and Kurt Angle will be at Slammiversary. Cool. Lauren says, Wrestling Escape Pod tonight. It is, yes. In about 25 minutes. This one is an hour long. And it is all about the worst storylines. And it's quite... I think it's fun. We definitely have some fun in it. But it's a lot of information. I mean, we talk about the worst storylines. Yeah, it's alright. It's an alright episode. It's not my favourite episode. But it's still fun. Typical Wrestling Escape Pod. Right. What hasn't been typical is this show. It's been awful. But we are down to the final 10 minutes. We have got Nakamura and Cesaro in there right now with the New Day. Are we going to get new Championes? Big E reaching out. Straight to the midsection by Kofi. Kofi trying to find a way of breaking this hold by Nakamura. Nakamura striking across the back of Kofi. UFC or WWE or AEW, FaZe Monkey Jr. If I had to choose out of those three, WWE. I know you've probably never heard of NWA. You need to check them out. They have some good talent. Al Slalinski. Shout out to you. NWA. I will check them out. Dave in real life says, I wouldn't use great. Tag, in comes Big E. Goes over, belly to belly. Cesaro gets thrown. Big E throws Cesaro again. Duck underneath by Big E with another belly to belly. Got the old hips on the go. Against the ropes goes Big E. Big splash. Cesaro rolling out of the way. Where are we? We've got 8 minutes. Roll up by Cesaro. Kick out by Big E. European uppercut by Cesaro. Big E goes down. Cesaro over to the corner. European uppercut again. Lovely back elbows coming in by Cesaro. Another uppercut. Strikes to the midsection. Is really unloading on Big E. Big E slumps down in the corner. Cesaro pushing Big E's head around. Kicking him in the head as well. Big right hands coming in. And Kofi pops up. Nice top rope enziguri. Big E has got Cesaro. They double stomp from the top by Kofi. Going for the 1, 2. Oh, slide by Nakamura. Strikes coming in by Nakamura. Top rope kick. Stomping away. Nakamura getting out of the ring. Cesaro trying to get over to make that tag, but Kofi stopping it, cutting it off. 2. Kick out. Just choking him out on the ropes. Oh, nice kick. Clothesline. Down goes Kofi. In comes Nakamura. How long we got? About 5 minutes? 4 minutes? Something along those lines. Doesn't always go right up to the hour mark, does it? So we might be around about 4 or so minutes away. He's going for the pin, but Big E makes the save. Cesaro comes in. Nakamura, Cesaro working together on Big E. Big E gets thrown out of the ring. Cesaro gets out. Riddle Styles next week. Do you think Riddle can win? I think he can win. I don't know that he does win. I mean, so close to Extreme Rules. Would it not make more sense for there to be a screwy finish to the rematch at Extreme Rules? Could they do that? In fact, screwy finish here, actually. No title change. The ref has rung the bell. So we don't get the title change. Knee to the midsection by Cesaro. Face first goes Big E. So this has broken down into an all-out brawl. Cesaro grabbing a table. No finish. Double DQ. No winners. Big E into the steps. Boo, says Chalmers. Has the show been good? It's been amazing. It's been amazing. This has been one of the best Smackdowns I've ever seen. And Sarah Schreiber is so good. Those two things have literally been said by no one ever. Cesaro's struggling to get the table into the ring. It's getting caught a little bit on the apron. There we go. Done it. Well done, Cesaro. Matt Riddle wins because he is the new Vince boy. Get the tables! Roy Rees, shout out to you. Big E in a bit of trouble. Nakamura with a kick to the head. Big E goes onto the table. Brett says, well, that's boring. Well, look, we were very honest. We're always honest. I says that I wasn't sure about tonight's show. I was like, might be all right, but doesn't look like the most exciting on paper. Kofi up. Kofi gets Power bombed onto Big E. They go through the table. There we go. Nakamura and Cesaro make a good team, these two. Days, I would be booing like the wrestlers are as fans. This has been a bad show. Days, Sarah wants to interview you. What will you say? No. No, thank you. Thank you. But no. Jasmine Duke took off her mask. I'm trying to see what... Is this going to lead to a match at Extreme Rules? So Michael Cole says it's just a matter of time before Nakamura and Cesaro capture tag team gold. And with that, the show ends. Boo! Get your scores in. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Get your scores in. Is this going to be one of the lowest, worst rated shows we have ever watched? What do you think? I think it's going to be up there. I think it's going to be up there for one of the worst rated shows we've ever seen. Halftime scores were not great, and I've got to say, I don't think that second hour got any better. I really don't think that second hour got any better. SmackDown is easily the worst brand. And that is it. 1, 5, 6, 7. They're quite high. 4.5, 3, 2, 0, 5, 2, 3.5, 4. New champions, no. 3, 1, 1, 5, 5. That was awful. 4, 3, 5, 5, 1, 1, 3.75, minus 0.1, 3.1. Wow, the chat is moving so fast. The chat is on fire with awfulness. 2.5 says C Wrestling. 0, 1, 3, 5, 5. COVID-19 sucks. Fact. Worst show of the year. 5, 1, 5. Wow. Did you see Super Showdown? Let's not get too carried away. Right? As boring as that was, at least the Fiend didn't lose to Goldberg there. So, you know. 5, 1, 4. Minus 100,000. 2, 5. Worst show. 4.5. 1, 1, 4, 4.5. 5, 1, 1.5. Awful, 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 says LSW. Awful, awful, awful. I thought it was a fun, different show, says Jonathan. Hello, Roman Reigns. Hope you are well. What's worse, SmackDown or Eva Marie? I don't like Eva Marie, the wrestler. I've got no issue with her as a person. So, in that regard, she's got some kind of redeeming feature. Whereas I'm struggling to find one tonight. So this SmackDown might officially be worse than Eva Marie. 5, 5, 2, 1p. I'd be overreacting if I put a 0. I turned it off, says Ali. I wish I could have turned it off. Why can't I have turned it off? I honestly thought we were going to see a title change. I was sitting here thinking, I think they will, you know. I think the show has been that bad that they don't want you talking about anything other than we've got new tag champs. So I was sitting here thinking they're going to do it. I really think they're going to do it. And they didn't do it. They didn't do it. So, yeah, we didn't even get that. Absolute worst, says LB. I'm going to say. Oh, hang on. Ben Russell says, thought the show was pretty good. Definitely not the best, but pretty good. So I'm giving it a 7.5. Leah says 7. 3.5. 0.1. 3. I'm going to score it a... What are we scoring the show? What are we scoring the show? Okay, let's logically, let's think this through. Miz TV, I didn't enjoy it. I was very vocal that I didn't enjoy it. I think we rehashed old ground that didn't need to. I'm not going to give it anything for that. Miz, Jeff Hardy, wasn't a fan, to be honest. Not going to score it anything for that. Braun Bray, I didn't need to see it again. It's an alright match. Not down on the match, but I can't really give them a score for that because, do you know what I mean? I've already seen it. I feel like I've been punished. For being a loyal, passionate wrestling fan. WWE fan. I get punished, so I'm not going to score them for that. I am going to give him a mark for the karaoke. Now, people might disagree, but I don't know, it was all right. I got a bit of entertainment out of it. I'm going to give him a mark for it. The women's match after, no. The main event, I'll give him a mark for. I mean, it was all right. It didn't get a finish, but some of the action was all right. Bayley, Sasha, Alexa, yeah, I'll give him a mark for that. Thought that was all right. So I'm at 3. Mark for the announcements. I mean, we know Matt Riddle's going to go for the IC title next week. We know there's going to be a bar fight at Extreme Rules. Maybe I could be generous and scrape together a point there. Honestly, I can't justify going any higher than that, though. I can't think of why I would. I think it's a 4. If I'm sitting here thinking I can't think of what else to score it positively for, that's not a bad sign. That's not a good sign, is it? And I've not even taken any marks off for Sarah. So there we go. Do you know what I mean? I could easily sit here and be harsh and say, and I've taken the score off because Sarah was all over the show and she's annoying AF. But I didn't. I've risen above it. So I've given it a 4. And those are my reasons why. It's not good, man. It's not good. Not good. Right, we've got 10 minutes until Wrestling Escape Pod begins over on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. It's on for an hour. We're talking about the worst storylines. It is pre-recorded, but I will be in the chat and I'll answer whatever you want to talk about. Tommy should be in the chat. I found out where Tommy was last week. I didn't even ask him, actually. It slipped my mind. But at the end of recording, I was like, I'll see you on Friday, yeah? And he was like, yeah, if I don't fall asleep. I was like, what do you mean? He went, I fell asleep on Friday. It's why I wasn't there. I was like, I just presumed you had something on. He was like, no, legit. I was going to be there, but I just fell asleep. I was like, no way. That's amazing. So he didn't intend to miss last week. He just fell asleep. So, yeah, as long as he's not snoozing, although if he watched SmackDown tonight, he might be, then, yeah, he should be joining us, my friends. He should be joining us. Daze, do you think the cinematic matches would be completely dead once the live crowd returns? I think cinematic matches are hard to do with a live crowd because if you pay your money, you want to see the superstars, don't you? Who wants to go pay money to watch a TV screen, to watch a cinematic match? I do think that there's room for them. I do think that there's, a way of still presenting them. I think it's difficult, if I'm being honest. I think it's tricky. What we tend to have had in the past is that they'll do some cinematic stuff and then the action finishes in the ring so that the people in attendance don't feel shortchanged. I'm thinking like at WrestleMania, Roddy versus Goldust. Nearly said Goldberg. Goldust, that started in the Hollywood Batlot Brawl and then they made their way to the arena and they finished it in ring. I'm thinking House of Horrors match. That was started in the house and then they went back and they finished it in ring. So it might be that cinematic matches do that. We get more of that. They fight and do something, but they finish it in the ring. I don't know. I mean, I don't think you see anything like Money in the Bank again. Like that. So, just appreciate the fact that we got it, you know. I thought the Money in the Bank one was good. But I don't think they're done. I think you will get more in the future. I think you will get more. But not as many as what we're getting at the moment. I decided not to watch SmackDown. I needed to keep my sanity. SmackDown seems like a nothing show, says Christopher. Well, judging by tonight, you were correct. Days, you ended your streak on a high, but came back with a terrible SmackDown. I know. Not much I can do about it. If we were booking it, we would make it something special. My score was 4, says Michael Jansen. WWE, shout out to you, dude. Shout out to you. Thank you for the kind words. Donald says, I'm going to give it a 165. My score would be higher if Michael Cole got fired. Fair play. Days, quick question. What's the highest rating you've ever given a show? I think it's 10. I can't remember what we scored WrestleMania 17. I think WrestleMania 17 might be the highest we've ever scored. I think some Wrestle Kingdoms as well. I can't remember ever giving a Raw or a SmackDown 10 out of 10, to be honest. I mean, we've been doing live watch-alongs for a couple of years. What I would love to do, I can't see this happening anytime soon, but I would love to, in the future, get a Wrestling Days website, right? And on there, just links to all the toy hunts. Like, you can click on a tab and all the toy hunts are just there. You can click on a tab and all of the figure reviews are there. You click on another tab, all the watch-alongs are there. That would be cool. And one of the tabs would be all of the scores, like every watch-along we've ever done. All of the scores, just in one long list. I think that would be really interesting. I think, yeah, that would be really cool. So that won't be for a long time, though. I've got no plans to do a website anytime soon. But it's on my radar, let's put it that way, and I do think that would be fun. So, yeah, I think I'd have to go back and see what we gave WrestleMania 17. But, I mean, that is regarded as WWE's best pay-per-view. Certainly when we watched it, it still stands up. And I can't remember if I said this is so good and iconic that, you know, it deserves the 10. So, maybe a 10. It would have been for that. But honestly, very rare. Very, very, very rare. Days, can I get a shout out for my score tonight? Carmen Live 2, shout out to you. Gives it an 8 out of 10. Febster077 says, Days, do you think Daniel Bryan will get another title reign? There's an outside chance, but I think it's less likely, if I'm being honest. I think that Daniel's role now is about building future stars. I think he's had that second title reign, and I think it was all right. And obviously, he put over Kofi, which was a cool moment. Now he seems to be working with Drew Gulak, trying to get Gulak over, and I don't think that's working for me. But I think that's his role now, really, is to get other stars over. And he's said now he's getting to the point where he would like to work a reduced schedule. You know, he worked really hard to come back. He's had a couple of years of being back. Now he would like to be, you know, on a reduced schedule. I think he's earned that. I mean, he's a definite Hall of Famer. And yeah, I think that could be good to see him a little less. Keep him like Cena, you know? Special when you see him. Days, can me and you talk on the wrestling pod? Well, I will be in the chat, yes. I will be in the live stream. Although, as soon as I'm done here, do you know, I still haven't... It's 11 minutes past 3 in the morning. I still haven't had anything to eat. I still haven't had dinner. Because I was a little late getting up. And I was doing a few other things. So my plan is that once we're done here, I'm actually going to go and I've got some sandwiches upstairs. I'm going to grab some sandwiches. So I'm going to grab them, come back down, and then I'll jump on. So if I'm a few minutes late, that's where I am. But I will be there. Texas Ranger Fan 18, shout out to you. Days, what would you do without WWE, says Kevin. I would still like to do YouTube. I just think I'd probably be watching something else if WWE wasn't around. I don't know what that would be. I mean, I've always liked sports, so maybe we would watch some kind of soccer team, football team. Maybe we would watch basketball. Maybe we would watch. I mean, I do like cricket. I really like cricket, but I don't know if we'd do a watch long for that because they're like 5 days, 5 full days, and then you go a long time without any. Unless you watch lots of different teams, lots of different nations or something. So maybe we'd do. I would be on YouTube. I think we would do watch alongs. This very much I feel like this is what I'm meant to be doing. I enjoy doing it. I love talking to you guys. I just really enjoy it. So yeah, I don't do this because I feel I have to or anything. I do it because I really enjoy doing it. So we would be doing this, and if wrestling wasn't around, I don't know, we'd do a different sport. So Shay, shout out to you, my friend. Kyle O'Sullivan, shout out to you. Scott Turner, thank you very much for the support. Wrestling Days fan says, great stream. Walid, shout out to you. Sonny Wolf with a link to Wrestling Escape Pod. Bryce, shout out to you, my friend. Where is Mandy and Otis? Having a bit of fun. That's what they're doing. Having a bit of fun. Football better than cricket? Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I think when cricket is really good, then it's equal, if not better than football. But football obviously is a short game, and so you can enjoy more matches. Whereas a test can take 5 days, So yeah, I don't know. They're just very different. They're very different sports. Very, very different. SmackDown was a waste of time. It was. I agree. Sophia, shout out to you. Thank you, my friend. Right, well, I tell you what. We always snuggle up quite close to the escape pod. And we are doing that right now. We are snuggling quite close to it. But we're going to wrap up now so that I can run off, grab those sandwiches, and try and get into the chat sooner rather than later. So, yes, thank you to everyone that watched. I think the big thing for me is that we are back tomorrow for that UFC stream. I understand a lot of you don't really have an interest in UFC. A lot of you do. Probably it's fairer to say some of you don't. All I'd say is if you've never given it a chance, maybe give this one a chance. There's 3 title fights. There's some real grudge matches. There's some rematches. It's all taking place on Fight Island. If you were gonna give a UFC show a chance, this would be the one. We're starting at about I think even 9 Eastern. It keeps getting earlier, but as I've got so much to talk about, and yeah, it's 9 I think in the UK, which would be 4 Eastern. 4 Eastern, 9 UK. Huge tomorrow. So if you're around, jump in. Even if you just want to see me getting abuse, because there's going to be people throwing abuse at me. It happens every stream. Well, mostly on the UFC streams. So yes. And that's it. So I'm going to go and grab my sandwiches. Thank you to everyone that watched. Really do appreciate the support. And hopefully see you tomorrow for UFC Fight Island. Bye for now.